shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. A 13-year-old Overland Park, Kansas girl was arrested last month and charged with a felony after police say her classmates claim she made a gun-like hand gesture at multiple students. The Mind Unleashed reports the girl, a student at Westridge Middle School, flashed the finger gun at 4 fellow students and then toward herself September 18th, after her classmates asked her which 5 people in the classroom she would kill. That's according to Overland Park Police Chief Frank Donches. The student, who remains unidentified due to laws protecting her privacy, was arrested and charged the day following the incident for threatening a mass shooting, according to the Johnson County District Attorney's Office. The girl admitted to threatening others, the police have said. The context of the conversation remains unclear, but the girl is now living in California, according to the Kansas City Star. The girl's grandfather, John Kavanaugh, told the Star the girl was simply mouthing off. Arrests of children have skyrocketed over the last decade. That's according to the latest statistics published by the FBI. The statistics, compiled from 2013 to 2018, revealed more than 30,000 children under the age of 10 have been arrested, averaging more than 6,000 kids per year. Equally disturbing is students 10 to 12 years of age, top 266,000. Activist Post reports that in the past, students and children were disciplined with consequences such as timeout and paddling. But as more and more schools replace handling things internally with external police state options like school resource officers, children are ending up with arrest records and their fingerprints stored in databases. Often referred to as the school-to-prison pipeline, the principal players in the funneling of kids from school to jail are the school resource officers. What may seem like routine policing or modern-day policing methods to some, others see as a human rights violation, a slippery slope leading to a criminal life and a poor use of school resources. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
The Onion looks back at this week in history. On May 6, 1937, the explosion of the German passenger ship Hindenburg brought cheer to an entire generation of Americans in the midst of the Great Depression. The souls of the American people were fleetingly revitalized by the flame-engulfed Zeppelin and the shrill screams of burning passengers leaping to their heartwarming deaths.
Oh my, it's burst into flames! The burning embers and charred flesh are cascading splendidly onto the mooring mast. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the most terrific thing I've ever seen! Oh, the luminosity, the gaiety!
And on May 7th, 2000, Vladimir Putin became president of Russia after promising citizens he could bend anything they gave him with just his bare hands. And that was what happened this week in history. In the words of the Italian philosopher Niccolò Machiavelli, whoever wants to foresee the future must first look at the past and then imagine all that old stuff looking more future-y and space-like.
Free Talk Live.
Hey, it's Free Talk Live. You can dial in toll-free, take control of the airwaves. If you like, bring up whatever's on your mind. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. With you in the studio tonight, you've got Ian.
And Conan.
Conan, welcome back to the airwaves.
Thanks for having me. It's been a while.
Has it been a year?
It's probably
half a year at least, right?
It's probably been longer than half a year.
So welcome back. Good to have you back here. Johnson's going to be joining us. He's running a little bit late, so we'll see him here in just a moment. Coming up, you wanted to talk, of all things, about the Mayan calendar, the whole end of the world thing that was supposed to happen in 2012.
Or maybe it did happen.
That's what I want to hear about coming up here in a little bit. Plus, a Montreal law firm is now suing the company that makes the popular video game Fortnite. And they're saying that, it's an addictive game, so therefore they should have to pay.
That's why people play it.
Now they're saying they should have to pay the people who are playing it or something because of Fortnite addiction. We'll get into that story as well. But in the international headlines tonight, there's the purported brink of a Brexit deal. This may be happening soon.
It has been on the brink of maybe happening for 2 years.
Actually, I checked it, Conan. We were wrong. It's actually been 3 years since they first voted for this thing. According to Wikipedia, it was in June of 2016 when 51.9% of participating voters voted to leave the European Union. So more than 3 years ago. To this day, that's like 3 1/4 of a year.
Now, this would have taken place at least that year. I'm thinking even a month after the initial voting, if the Brits, in fact, had firearms.
Well, they've got firearms.
They've
got a military or whatever.
I'm not talking. No, not their military. Their people.
Well, how do you think that having the people having guns would help move along a political process?
Because the politicians want to get reelected, and they don't want upset am I saying that word right? They don't want crazy people with pitchforks and torches, which they do have, but no, not enough. Firearms work, and this is and the same exact thing is happening in France right now with the yellow vests, which, by the way, I don't think any Americans know anything about. Well, they've been protesting for damn near half a year now.
Yeah, we talked about it.
And now you've
here.
got the new Hong Kong thing. They got karate kicks. I don't know if you saw that video, by the way.
I saw some cop got kicked or whatever. I didn't see video of it, but I heard about
it. Bruce Lee, but what was the Mortal Kombat?
Flying kick.
Yeah,
right?
It was a flying kick. It was pretty awesome. And
there's video.
And the guy was half the size of him, too. So they got kicks, but they don't have weapons. And that's how these governments can get away with, you know what, we'll have a revote. Oh, you know what, we've got to vote on how we're going to get out.
Well, I mean, I don't think you're wrong. I mean, it's not a bad thing for people to have weapons. There's no doubt about that. But there's plenty of weapons in the United States, Conan, and it's not like the government here moves quickly on anything.
Yeah, but the people haven't gotten to the point where they want to exit something. Wait till that happens. Let's wait till California actually does what they want to do.
Well, they don't have any weapons in California.
Well, yeah, good point. So there's a problem there. All right, wait till New Hampshire wants to venture off and become good buddies with Canada and leave Massachusetts and New York, in the dust.
Well, it can't happen soon enough, as far as I'm concerned. I think most of our hosts on this show support secession, support any state, California, New Hampshire, Vermont, wherever it is, Hawaii. Anybody who wants to leave the United States should be able to do so, and they should be able to do it peacefully. I just don't know, Conan, if 51.6%. I mean, it's not an overwhelming majority. It's a majority.
It's a lot more than who were supporting the American Revolution. A third of the population. A third wanted to stay, and the third were we don't know what we want. Which is kind of what we have right now. That's a whole hell of a lot more than a third.
But look, I mean, voting for something isn't the same thing as really being a supporter, is it? Because when you go out and you vote for some political candidate, most of the time, you don't support that candidate, right? Because, I mean, most of the time, with the exception of here in New Hampshire, where we actually have libertarians on the ballot that are worth voting for, in most places, you don't have a libertarian choice, or you don't have a decent libertarian choice. You get one lesser of the evils. You get a Republican, you get a Democrat. One of them is less bad than the other. You hold your nose and you vote for one of them. That doesn't mean you're a supporter of them. So I'm not saying the people who voted for this don't support it, but what I'm saying is they may not vehemently support it. They may not be the kind of, like 51.9% of the people didn't go out into the streets to protest for this. That was probably 5% or less than that. So it's always going to be that motivated minority that makes a push for an idea or whatever progress, and then other people kind of come along for the ride. Oh yeah, it says leave the European Union. Sure, I'll vote for that. Yeah, but they're not going to go show up at their MP's door or member of parliament's door and start pounding on it. And
it will come to that. It will come to that. And by the way, most people are NPCs. Who knows what
NPC stands for non-player character.
Who knows what they really believe? They don't. They just go along to get along.
Yeah.
because it hurts to think sometimes. It hurts. It hurts to rock the boat.
Right.
No one wants to be a boat rocker. No one wants to be seen as the guy who's always questioning things. They just want to get along to get along.
And it hurts to go against the grain. Right?
Oh yeah, it hurts a lot. Yeah. Which is why we do it,
because you like pain.
Because we're masochists.
Is that right? That's not why I do it. But it's just one of the. It just comes with the territory. Yeah. When you rock the boat, well, there's a chance somebody's going to target you.
Well, I'm thinking when it comes to Brexit, it wasn't like it is here in this. Well, actually, the 2016 election, a lot of people came out to vote for either one of the lesser of the two evils, Hillary or Trump. But usually, people don't come out to vote.
That's right.
As far as Brexit was concerned, they all voted.
Did they?
I don't know what the actual stats are, but I'd
be curious to see how many people actually turned out for that, because that is an interesting question. If you happen to know, you're welcome to share it with us. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. If you're in the UK tonight, because where you are, it's actually tomorrow already. But if you're there and you're up late with us and you want to call and give us your opinion, because odds are you know a heck of a lot more about this than we do. I mean, my knowledge of Brexit is basically that it happened. They voted for this thing, and we predicted on Free Talk Live that this was going to be a slow process.
Oh yeah, the bureaucrats, they don't want to give up their power.
No, and they're going to drag their feet as long as they can. In this case, The Guardian has a fairly detailed report. I'm not going to get into all the details of this because for a lot of our listeners, it just won't mean much. There's always a lot of political personalities involved in this kind of crap, and I find politicians to be detestable. I don't like talking about them in the United States. I don't like name-dropping politicians, and I certainly am not going to do the same. Not going to do that with the EU. But there is a draft text of an agreement that could be published on Wednesday, so tomorrow, if Downing Street gives the final green light, according to senior EU and British sources. It's understood that the negotiating teams have agreed in principle that there will be a customs border down the Irish Sea. A similar arrangement was rejected by Theresa May as a deal that no British prime minister could accept. So she's out. I remember hearing that.
Yep. The new Trump-looking guy is in.
Is this the Boris Johnson guy?
Looks like the kid from South Park with the.
He looks goofy
with his finger in his nose.
He doesn't have it in this particular picture, but Johnson will still have to win over. Apparently, Boris Johnson will have to win over Parliament, including the Democratic Unionist Party and the hardline Tory Brexiters of the European Research Group, on the basis that under the deal, Northern Ireland will still legally be within the UK's customs territory. So this just sounds like a huge political morass, and they're saying that a deal may be imminent, but imminent in political terms could mean weeks from now.
Yep.
So hunker down, Britons.
Years from now.
Yeah, you'll be lucky if you're still alive when this thing finally shakes out. If you want to join us, you can. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Coming up, are we living in the post-Mayan calendar end of the world? That's what Conan's going to ask on the way here, and you can share your thoughts on whatever happens to be on your mind. Plus, are you addicted to Fortnite? Well, if you live in Canada, you might be able to join a class action lawsuit. There's more coming up here on Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE.
Have you heard of LibertyCon? LibertyCon is not only a convention with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO and co-founder John Mackey and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith, but it's also unique because you get a chance to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations, one-on-one for the purpose of career advancement, business, and internship opportunities. April 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C. You can learn more by visiting libertycon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on your registration. That's libertycon.com.
Do you have a qualified plan, an IRA, 401k, or some other type of investment account? Would you like to learn how the ultra-wealthy take their retirement accounts and make them legally 100% tax-free? Have your money liquid and invest in literally anything you want to, completely tax-free with the blessing of the IRS. And no, it's not a Roth. Join us at dna.freetalklive.com for more details and your exclusive invitation to the free webinar on Tuesday at 8 p.m. Register now at dna.freetalklive.com.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Warning, this is a privacy alert. You are being spied on right now as I speak by your phone. If you want this to stop, visit GoDarkBags.com and we'll show you how elite military units protect themselves and how you can too. GoDark Bags are lab tested and guaranteed for life. Visit GoDarkBags.com now and enter discount code FTL to save 15%. That's GoDarkBags.com. Discount code FTL. Your privacy depends on it. End transmission.
Allison Fry and Peter Hartman are a long-term couple. They've been trying out an open relationship that frees them to emotionally burden and exhaust other people.
We're both grown-ups. We both trust each other. It just seemed like the right time to open ourselves up to meeting other people and barraging them with our crippling emotional neediness.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I still want to vent to Allison about all the anxieties I have at the office until she wishes I would just shut the up. But sometimes you just get the urge to sap the life out of a different woman for a change.
The flexible arrangement has allowed Fry and Hartman to participate in a variety of tiresome and psychologically draining one-off encounters with partners ranging from close acquaintances to total strangers.
Of course, there was a time when I couldn't imagine saddling anyone but Peter with my extensive emotional baggage and trust issues, but now that we've tried it...
The best part is, when we're back together, all we really want to do is drain the living out of each other.
This is the Onion News Network.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up what you want here. The toll-free number, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. You will sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio if you call on those numbers. We're talking about this Brexit. Supposedly they're on the brink of a deal. Of course, it's been 3 years now, and, well, nothing has really happened. It's all been political wrangling, struggles between one side or the other, and honestly, I don't even know what all the different stakeholders and sides and such are. If you're in the UK and you want to give us a rundown as you understand it, feel free. There's a really detailed article here at The Guardian. I'll link to it on our social media. I don't want to get into all the ugly political fighting that's going on, but I think it's crystal clear that this is taking forever. There's political chairs that have already changed out. The prime minister is no longer who the prime minister was when this thing first started. So it's all very, complex. It's unnecessarily complex. And Conan, you were suggesting earlier that if the people in Great Britain had guns, that this process wouldn't be as drawn out. You feel like that would that they could then pressure their so-called representatives.
That's what they're for, and that's why we have a Second Amendment, and that's why
they're for killing,
and that's why it's the Second Amendment. You got the First Amendment, and that's to try to convince our government to correct itself, correct its ways, and if that doesn't work, then you have the backup plan, which is the Second.
Well, I mean,
they don't really.
They're for killing, Conan, is what they're for. They're for killing governments that are out of control, right? Isn't that the idea?
Or acting as a deterrent. I mean, it's like a good wall. It's going to keep bad guys out.
Good neighbors have good fences.
Correct, and that's the same thing with a weapon. You don't necessarily have to use it. Just the fact that it's strapped on your hip might be deterrent enough.
Well, I mean, I've seen plenty of people at the State House in Concord with guns on their hip, and it hasn't made any. I mean, it's not like the state reps are going to hurry up and do their business even faster.
Until we actually vote on something that is actually meaningful and not like just trying to protect our vapes.
I see what you're saying.
Preventing noodleheads from outlawing everything. Wait till the crash happens. Wait till all of them firemen and policemen and teachers aren't getting their checks. Mm-hmm. And Social Security as well. Wait till that falls to the floor. And the really hard decisions are going to be on the table, and none of this bull crap that we usually deal with.
I have to wonder what it is going to take. I mean, for the U.S. government to finally wear out its welcome with enough people in one state, because there have been these, somewhat newsworthy movements, like Collexit was what one of them was called in California. There was the Texit people that wanted to leave. And they voted 100,000 signatures on a petition that went to Obama back in 2012, and basically Obama came back and said, yeah, that was decided with the Civil War, suggesting that there was going to be violence if somebody tried to leave.
Right.
We don't know what Trump would do when faced with, or if faced with, the imminent leaving of...
He has too many supporters. It's not happening this year.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't
You're asking what it would take.
Soon.
It's going to take breadlines. It's going to take people losing their savings. It's going to take, all of these pensioners not collecting. That's what it's going to take. Right now, we're still living pretty cozy.
We're living large.
I mean, there's a lot of people complaining about the gender gap and all about racism in America and all this, which is all bullcrap. Which, I mean, it is real.
Yeah.
But compared to what it was, it's non-existent. But no, this is all small potatoes. It's going to take pain and suffering. And the people are going to want real change.
Well, somebody on we got a local chat group here in the Keene area, and Johnson joining us. Welcome, Johnson.
Hey.
So somebody posted today, one of the local libertarian types in this group where we chat, Free New England, #freeing, I guess is in Keene, but with an F in front of it, or FR, and then #6 states own on a nation. 6 states, one nation. I hate hashtags. There's no spaces.
He doesn't want Massachusetts to be among that 6, right?
I think they probably do.
Why? Mordor?
6 states.
No, come on.
Look, it's not from one of our guys. It's something that he saw. So he was at one of those poster boards, around town where they got business cards posted up.
I might consider Vermont. I don't even know about Maine, but Vermont, at least they have guns over there.
Maine's got some guns too.
And a lot of poor people.
Yeah. New England Independence Campaign is what it's called. So apparently there's a newish secessionist group in New England, and somebody from
I like
group.
how all these ideas are on the table and they're options, but they're not really options. It's just someone is, hey, what about this idea? Well, that's
where
great?
It has to start. I mean, somebody has to put an idea out there and see what kind of response it gets. See if it can engender some interest amongst people. And then take that idea to
which is only really interesting to us. The only way to get these things accomplished is to get the normies on board, and the only way the normies are going to get on board is if pain and suffering is involved, and they're trying to get out of it. Breadlines, serious, and it's going to suck.
Right,
and it's going to suck.
You're probably right.
And I'm adding a whole nother swath. I'm adding 300 square foot of garden. it'll be ready for next spring.
Okay.
I'm going to be first on the chopping block. They're going to have me
come after you.
They're going to come after me. I'm going to be out there defending my stupid garden, not from rabbits, but
people.
from hungry people.
You better learn how zombies. LED grow lights work so you can start farming indoors. You have a big basement.
Yeah, that's true.
It's full of stuff too.
Well, once the bread lines hit, you can just throw that stuff out in the yard and let them take it.
Which would require an awful lot of energy, which we're probably not going to have because the lights are going to be off. So I need the sun.
Well, if we don't have any energy anymore, I'm probably getting out of New Hampshire because it's going to get cold, man. If there's no oil left.
I actually think that, well, I've got lots of trees to burn, and that's why I like where I live. I got a whole forest right there. But I don't want to be where people are migrating. I think this is the best place to be.
You really think so? Okay.
Oh, yeah, because everyone's going to be going south. And I think we're just far enough away from the big cities like Boston and all that. They'll eat each other alive before they get out of control and migrate over here. And they want to go to Concord and they want to go to some of the more urban places.
If I were going to be thinking about surviving in a place that doesn't have good access to sunlight, aka solar panels and batteries technology, if there was not going to be power and it was going to be a place like New Hampshire, I'd say you'd want to be real familiar with wood gasification. Mm-hmm. So not only just burning wood for fire purposes, but burning wood in such a fashion where you're turning it into fuel, like liquid fuel. Because that can be used to run engines and generators and all that.
I think, and I know that art, people are still doing it.
Oh,
but
yeah, there are people.
They're more into biodiesel and stuff these days. But
you occasionally see the crazy person with a wood burning stove on the back of their truck, and it's driving the truck, just belching out massive amounts of wood smoke. Yeah,
I've never seen that.
Oh yeah, it's awesome when you see these trucks that are made with wood gasifier engines.
So, if you want to talk about what it's going to take for some state in the United States to secede. Is it going to have to be bread lines like Conan is suggesting here? If you want to weigh in, you're welcome to join us. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Or if you know a thing or two about the Brexit deal, you want to fill us in and fill our audience in, maybe you're over in the UK, feel free to join us. Also, you can call easily if you're overseas or anywhere via the Discord server. You don't have to pay any long distance, and you'll sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us. Go to discord.lrn.fm. As we continue, we will take your calls and thoughts about whatever's on your mind. Conan says we might be living in basically the world that ended in 2012. We'll get into that coming up here. It's Free Talk Live.
Do you have a crypto wealth advisor or coach? If so, has your cryptocurrency advisor been investing in technology stocks for over 20 years? Have they left the corporate world and retired? Or are they still trying to make a weekly paycheck? Have they produced six-figure results for their customers in the past 30 days? And very importantly, are they a member of the Digital Currency Council? Seth Maniscalco is the founder of Crypto Wealth Coach and CryptoWealthCoach.com. Seth invested in his first Roth IRA at 19 years old while living abroad and has been investing in Wall Street and technology for over 20 years. With experience in all the money markets. By comparison, so many of these so-called crypto gurus have barely been alive for 20 years. Seth has not only experienced personal success from his own investments in crypto, he has also helped his clients earn 6- and 7-figure incomes, including helping investors make over $750,000 in EOS in 90 days and 1,225% in only 5.5 months with Chainlink. Seth has help for the small do-it-yourself guy on up to crypto whales. Increase your wealth. Visit CryptoWealthCoach.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Hi, I'm Montel Williams. Most of you know me as a talk show host, but I'm also an author, actor, single father of 4, a fitness writer, avid snowboarder, and I'm also a medical marijuana patient. Like many of the million people who are living with multiple sclerosis, I'm in pain every single day. And sometimes my nerves are so raw that if you brushed up against me in an elevator, I'd scream. I can't sleep at night from the pain, and sometimes the spasms in my legs are so intense they will wake me up throughout the night. I've tried the strongest prescription medications available, and I'm going to tell you, they do not work. In fact, they leave me in a stupor, and most of the time, it's impossible to even live your life. Now, I've tried medical marijuana, and I'm going to tell you something, it works. If you'd like more information about medical marijuana, you can contact the Marijuana Policy Project at mpp.org or call 1-877-JOIN-MPP.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial in, toll free, bring up whatever you want here, whether you want to talk about the British exit, the Brexit from the European Union, or
Keen exit, or whatever he called it, the Freen.
No, it was Freen. Freen was what it was.
That's silly. Let's just call it Keen exit. Keen exit.
Well, no, it wasn't actually Keen specifically. It was some sort of signage that was put up and it wasn't clear as to which restaurant or coffee shop.
And it's not Ridley who did this.
Maybe it was Ridley. I don't know. I wouldn't think Ridley would be promoting 6 states seating together.
I think he just wants New Hampshire, which I am in agreement with.
Right. Yeah, I don't want to be tied down with Vermont or Massachusetts
like
or
I said,
Connecticut.
I think Vermont's the only state that I could maybe deal with. They're pretty left-leaning over there, but they do all have guns.
Yeah, and Vermont and Maine were in the Free State Project's 10 different states from which people could choose.
Right.
Neither of Vermont or Maine made it into the top 3 in the voting, so it's not like people actually wanted to choose them. It was, if I recall correctly, it was New Hampshire overwhelmingly won, and then it was Wyoming, and then it was Alaska. So I don't remember what came after that.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't remember what came after that. So you can join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. We also have the Discord call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. But yeah, I mean, I'm still happy to hear anybody talking about secession, even if it is the idea of all the New England states going together. It probably... Would it be worse to have that than the 50 states? I think it probably would still be a little bit better. You know, even if that's all that was on the table, if all that was, okay, this is what you get to choose, Conan. You either go with the 6 states from New England, right? So Rhode Island, I'm going to presume it's Rhode Island.
No, I don't want the 6 states.
Massachusetts, Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, all leave together, or you stay with the United States. What's your choice?
I'll go with the 6 states, I guess.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel.
But then I'll still be working for the one state out
to leave.
But you know what? We're talking about what it would take, and you can already see it just here at the local level here in Keene. For this whole year,
I'd choose the United States. By the way. Oh yeah, absolutely.
You spent time in Connecticut, so you probably know a thing or two.
Yeah. And think about it. Add together all those states except for New Hampshire, and what you get is a socialist
super lefty
hellhole.
Yeah.
And by the way, and I don't want to do any of this, and I've said this before, I don't want to do any of this until Texas does it first.
Wait.
or
Why wouldn't
California.
you want to go first? What if New Hampshire gets to secede first?
Because I want to sneak off while they're dealing with Texas. Let them have their civil war, the feds versus the South again, and we could be like, you know what? We're just gonna sneak off.
It's gonna be over
dark.
here.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what would happen to the costs of foods in this 6-state thing? When you sell off all the farmland, essentially in the middle of America, and access to those resources, and you become your own country that then has to actually negotiate and, enter into
I don't know, man. It doesn't cost a lot of money to get food from Mexico. Why would it be that much more expensive to get?
Because you have to go through the Midlands to get to you.
Yeah.
So they're having their war,
and I'm not just talking about that. I'm talking about anything else that's also produced in the middle of America.
Yeah, but they still want to sell their stuff.
Grain, corn, and soy.
Yeah, but now there's a negotiation, right? There's a negotiation with this new nation that they don't necessarily, that they're not just.
We can negotiate with Canada too. I mean, there's competition.
And what kind of and how much food are they growing? Well, I
don't
have to be
know.
growing some.
Yeah, it's a limited growing season up there. That's
but as far as what it would take here at the local level, here in Keene, the politicians have been screaming about how the state of New Hampshire isn't sending back all the money they promised to send back. Here, and I've been arguing for this at an individual level since I've moved here, and everyone's like, shut up, libertarian. But now look at these hypocritical politicians. The state's not giving us back our money. And the feds do the same. And they're trying to write up new regulations, new ordinances. Some municipalities are talking about suing the state. And of course, this is probably why Sununu came and dropped off this huge ass check for the to the school, which they are not going to pay off any of their debts. They're gonna spend it on wish list projects that they've had in the back burner forever and ever. So it's not going. Our taxes aren't actually going to go down, even though we get this big fat check.
No, of course not.
But I mean, it's happening. It has, and it's about money, and it's about the taxpayer suffering, and the politicians we're all about the taxpayers, and this is what we ran for.
Well, the politicians just want the money. they want
to fund their projects.
Right. They want to reward their friends.
They want their city on the shining city on the side of the hill, their dream, their legacy. And this is part of it.
I want to interrupt you there,
If they don't have the money, they can't have their shining city.
Let's talk to John. He's on the line in Virginia, watching on YouTube. John, you're on Free Talk Live with Ian Johnson and Conan.
Hey, good evening.
Hey, John.
I really don't care about anything going on over in Britain. That's a cluster F. But anyway, I heard you. I'm watching you on YouTube, by the way, and I'm Johnny Doe VA on that chat on there. Well, anyway, you're talking about any of the states succeeding from the Union. We're never going to see that.
Why?
First of all, I'm almost 60 years old. I'm a United States Marine Corps combat veteran, and originally I'm from New Jersey. I was a narcotics and vice cop there for a good number of years. And,
sorry to hear that.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many lives do you think you ruined?
Well, I tell you, I got a 13 confirmed count. I don't know the rest of it when it rained.
13 confirmed?
No. Johnson I didn't ask how many you ended. I said how many did you ruin?
He was talking about as a cop, as a vice cop, a narcotics cop, where you put peaceful people behind bars who haven't harmed anyone else.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, fellas, because actually I resigned.
Okay.
Okay? I resigned. And I had a YouTube channel, and they got rid of it because actually I was exposing people, okay? So you don't need to jump on me for that. Actually, I'm one of the cops that's involved. And marijuana should be illegal. I'm part of that organization.
Good. I'm glad to hear that you say that. Now, do you agree that all other drugs should also be legal? That prohibition should be ended?
Well, I tell you, I'm a little bit conflicted about that, but I'm going to tell you something. And this is only my opinion now. If all these things were legal, I truly believe that it wouldn't be as bad as it is now.
I agree.
Does that make any sense?
No, it makes total sense. I mean, for instance, crack cocaine probably never would have come into existence if cocaine itself wasn't prohibited.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Crack exploded, okay? I mean, it exploded. And if you really want to get into it, the things that I was exposing on my YouTube channel, okay? And my undercover name, okay, was Eastland. Now, the thing is, If you only knew who was bringing these drugs in, okay?
Yeah, it's the CIA.
We've heard a lot of stories.
The cocaine import agency.
Now, all right, let me check this out. This fentanyl, right? Okay. Now, if you're a drug dealer and you're putting fentanyl in your heroin and people are dropping like flies, well, who's going to be your repeat customer?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Where is that fentanyl coming from, brother? Because it's not coming from China. They want to blame China. It's
you think
not
it's the government?
coming from China.
You think it's the government?
It's the United States government, brother. Let me tell you something, okay? Just let me get off the drugs and I'll get back to that.
All right.
But here in Virginia, I live in Roanoke, Virginia, okay? Roanoke County, actually, because I live rural. But the thing is, last election for the president, right? Well, my wife and I, we go down there to the Glenver Middle School to vote. And you got to show your ID. Now, they told my wife that she couldn't vote because she already voted. They said she sent in an absentee ballot. That never occurred.
Ooh, okay.
That never occurred. So anyway, she had to fill out this paper, and we had to go down to the election, whatever the hell you call it, see the lady down there within 3 days. Well, why? If you believe in the government and you believe in the election process, it's all BS, okay?
It is all BS. Hold that thought, John. If you can, we'll let you finish your story on the way here. The toll-free number, 855-450-FREE. Former vice cop. Sounds like he might be against the war on drugs. I like to hear that. More coming up. This is Free Talk Live.
Would you like to get back that full head of hair from years past? Now, there is Reveal. Beverly Hills celebrity dermatologist Dr. Nathan Newman took nearly a decade to develop Reveal from natural botanicals to return to a full-body head of hair. Reveal for men and women with a 30-day money-back guarantee at gcnlife.com or toll free 844-443-6637. 844-443-6637. Reveal at gcnlife.com.
Let me ask you something. What are you doing when you put money in a 401k or IRA, or store jumper cables in your vehicle, or purchase health insurance? You're preparing. You're preparing to ensure you have enough money for retirement. You're preparing for when your car battery dies, or to have assistance paying a major unexpected medical bill. That all makes sense. The same goes for building a food storage plan. You're preparing for when emergencies or disasters strike and shelves go empty at your grocery store. The best way to prepare is with My Patriot Supply. They've helped 1 million hardworking Americans become more self-sufficient. My Patriot Supply sells hundreds of items, including dozens of emergency food kits at mypatriotsupply.com. It could be an earthquake, a cyber attack freezing our banking system, or a disaster that shuts down our power grid for weeks. For all these emergencies and more, get your supplies and prepare today at mypatriotsupply.com. No more rushing to find empty store shelves because you're too late. Do it now so you're ready. mypatriotsupply.com.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Don't you hate that feeling in the pit of your stomach when the police pull you over? Most people have no idea how to handle it properly, and they promptly get fed into the municipal fee-generating meat grinder. Or maybe you recall that feeling you get when you go to the mailbox and see one or more letters from the IRS. You get a sense of impending doom, don't you? So let me ask you, if you could learn how to use the law to beat the IRS, traffic tickets, almost any courtroom scenario, collectors, credit card debt, and even mortgage debt because of fraud perpetrated against you, would that be worth knowing about? Don't laugh. Investigate. Check out the life-changing benefits of the Lighthouse Law Club at their website, lighthouselaw.club. That's lighthouselaw.club. And while you're at it, visit the Lighthouse Law Club YouTube channel. You might be in for a pleasant surprise.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up in any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You may join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got the Discord call-in line rooms. Coming up, Fortnite addictions have resulted in a lawsuit against the company that makes the game up in Canada. Plus, with you in the studio tonight, you've got Ian here.
And Johnson.
And Conan.
Edge Wallet, the best cryptocurrency wallet out there. It's the one that I use more often than any other. I just used it today. I actually had some food over at the delicious local burger here in town. We actually can spend cryptocurrency in real life here in Keene. And, you know, Bitcoin's very useful in a lot of ways. Cryptocurrencies like Ethereum, Monero, Ripple, Stellar, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and others. There's a couple dozen options that you can buy, sell, trade, and securely hold with your Edge wallet. It's available for iOS and Android. You can just go and download it from your app store. Or you can go to edge.app if you want to learn more about the technology behind Edge. Go to edge.app. That's their website. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet. As we continue here. Yes, Conan.
By the way, I load up Twitch, LRN.FM Twitch.
Yeah.
Guess what? Oh, it's Fortnite.
It's an advertisement for Fortnite? So let's go back to John. He's a former cop in Virginia, originally called to talk about secession. And I want to get back into that topic, John, but you were telling us a story about your wife was told when she went to go vote that she had already voted via absentee, which was a surprise to her. Right. And you were telling us what happened there.
And that is absolutely true. Here's what happened. We have 8 grandchildren. And I have 3 daughters in their 30s, and my oldest is a registered nurse. So my wife watches the kids, and she didn't know if she was going to be able to make it to vote for the presidential election.
Okay.
So she had an absentee ballot sent to the house here. Well, it never was sent in. I actually have it locked up in my gun safe, okay? It was never sent in. I still have it to this day. So when that happened down there at the Glenborough Middle School here, and we had to go see the lady down there at the registrar's office within 3 days, which we did. But now what I did, I went in on Facebook, I went and messaged 2 reporters at WSLS 10, and they would, matter of fact, they never even responded to me. They never responded to me. Huh. Now, there's one congressman here that actually grew up with my wife.
Okay, but before you go deeper into the story here, I mean, I want to ask you a question about what you've been saying so far. So you guys, she did ask for an absentee ballot. She received it, but she never actually sent it in. She went and tried to vote, and they told her, well, no, we can't do that because you voted absentee. Even though, so they didn't have any record of her actually sending the ballot in. They only had a record of them sending it to her.
I still have it as we speak. She never sent it in. I got it.
Wow.
You know, I could actually, I could email you. You know, I could take a picture of it and email it to you. It was never sent in.
So where did this end up? I mean, how did this shake out when everything was said and done? Like when you met with whoever you needed to meet with. Let's cut the story short here.
Well, the lady at the registrar's office, election registrar's office, they wouldn't give us any information. And as far as they're concerned, okay, so when she went and voted at the polling place, that's going to be her vote, but they would not explain anything.
Wait, I thought they didn't
that.
let her vote at the polling place.
They did let her vote, but she had to fill out a paper.
Okay, so she was able to vote. Okay, well, for a moment there, I thought that she was denied to be able to vote at all, in which case you probably would have had some sort of lawsuit that you could have filed. Let's get back to secession. Conan, you wanted him to answer a question about what he'd originally called about?
You're very adamant that no state will leave the Union, and I was curious as to why you think that.
No, that's never going to happen. You know, our country, okay, and like I said, I'm almost 60 years old. The world has changed. Our country has changed. You've got a bunch of snowflakes out there, okay? And I'm not, you know, I'll tell you right now, I voted for Trump, but I'm actually not a Republican. I never was a Republican. I'm actually a libertarian, okay?
Okay.
But the thing is, you know, I mean, it was, you know, as my granddad used to say, the lesser evil, you know? And there's no sense, but there's no, and this is also my thing.
So hold on, but are you saying that people aren't going to secede because there's too many snowflakes around? Is that your reason?
No, here's the thing. No. Now you're just trying to spin my words.
No, I just want to know what you're saying. Go ahead.
Well, the succession from the Union is a very big process. Now, what's going on in California right now, okay? California, that's a cluster F too. Now, take, for example, here in Roanoke County, there is the County Board of Supervisors. So you got 5 people sitting up there actually making law. You know, they're coming up with these ordinances, and recently it was one that you cannot get this. This is something here. This will prove what I'm saying because the government's infiltrated, even locally, all the way up to the top. So the Roanoke County Board of Supervisors several months back had come up with a county ordinance that you're not allowed to sleep or live in your vehicle. But here's the catch, brother. Even on private property.
Oh, man. Okay, but how does that have anything to do with secession? I mean, that's terrible that they would do that.
Well, it has a lot to do with it. It has a lot to do with it.
What if your vehicle's a motorhome?
I think that's actually probably
that's the purpose.
That's the purpose of this. People sleeping in their travel trailers and stuff.
They want to put a stop to that.
Well, no, they're saying your vehicle, your car. You know, I mean, and I know people who were homeless, and they would sleep up there at the Walmart down there in Salem. Okay.
Okay, but you got to make this make sense to me as to what that ordinance has anything to do with what you're saying, which is people are less likely or not interested in leaving the United States, or they won't.
It has everything to do with it because you're not going to get enough people to agree to succeed from the union.
I mean, that's a big challenge. I definitely agree with you there. And John, thank you for the call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. And that goes back to what you were saying, Conan. If people are comfortable.
The normies are still comfortable, and the only way to get them out of it is bread lines. And it will happen. And those soy boys and the snowflakes, they're not gonna have guns, but they're gonna have their automobiles, and they're gonna have their pitchforks, and they're going to be out there throwing rocks through windows. So I mean,
why is it that only the 1% of the 1% has bread?
But here's the biggest point to make about the soy boys. They're the ones who are going to be left with all of the debt and nothing. They're not going to have their Social Security. They're not going to have a medical care system that even works for them. They're just going to have debt.
Let me be clear, though. They will at least have free schooling.
That taught them to be good, indoctrinated button pushers.
Okay, but wait. You're saying only the soy boys are going to have to pay the debt? I'm pretty sure the government's going to try to force that on everybody that can get away with forcing it on.
We're going to be here's the difference. The three of us in this room, Generation X and a little you're kind of a millennial. You're 1 year. Yeah, we're Zennials.
Technically Zennials.
We're Zennials. Okay.
Yeah.
At least we know how to do things. At least I do. At least I consider myself to be a jack of all trades. I'm out there.
I can build a computer.
I can do that too.
All right, you guys are lost too.
Yeah.
I mean, I try to do as much as possible to cut out the middleman and to learn all these things myself because I know this is coming down the pike. This is going to be. I'm
looking for someone to install a ladder up to my attic currently. Can you do that? Can I hire you?
Well, There's a possibility we'll talk during the break.
I might have to move a fire alarm, though, so there's probably some electrical and code
Wait,
stuff.
you don't own your house. You're renting, right?
No, I own.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about that during the break. Yeah, so we're all going to be stuck with this debt, but at least we are capable of adapting, of learning new things. Whereas some of these kids, these trophy, every kid gets a trophy kids, they don't know how to do anything. I mean, they can change the clock on the VCR.
That's one of the things
that's about it.
That's one of the things about young people is they get a lot of credit for being all technologically sound, but they really don't know what they're doing. Like, they may know how to use their phone, but they don't know anything about, like, the settings in the phone. They don't know, like, any of the actual, like, back end, how things work.
Yeah, I'm thinking about how, like, I just plugged into the Wi-Fi when I got here to the studio this evening. Back in the day, 15 years ago, that was an ordeal.
It was, yes.
Hooking up to online. Whereas right now, all you have to do, your phone is already hooked, is already plugged, is already installed that way.
Yeah, good luck getting one of these Zennials.
I was having a conversation with my girlfriend who's younger than me. Like, she's actually 1 year younger.
Is she a Z or a millennial?
She would be millennial.
Just at the end. She's at the tail end.
83 is the cutoff for X and Y.
She
depends who you
that
ask.
Young. She's about 1 year younger than my brother, who passed away, would have been. And I was having a conversation with her, specifically because I remember, growing up with my brother, about how this generation grew up with the opportunities to learn. They grew up with search engines, and just, I was kind of lamenting the fact that if I had had access to that amount of information when I was younger, I was one of these, kids that wanted to learn and just couldn't necessarily get access to the information.
All you had was the encyclopedia.
Yeah.
Hold that thought. We can continue on young people and technology and conflicts. More coming up. Free Talk Live. I want to tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet, at edge.app. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet.
Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at marketfreetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. Marketfreetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, marketfreetalklive.com.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,488, silver at $17.54, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,238. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high-availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at noscale.net. In the news, bump stock owners aren't complying with an illegal federal ban approved through an unconstitutional bureaucratic process via the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. According to the Washington Times, only 1,000 bump stocks were collected in the run-up to the March deadline. There are between 280,000 to 520,000 bump stocks in circulation, according to the Justice Department. Activist Post reports that the feds would have to replicate that same rate of the collection either 280 or 520 times in order to recover all the remaining bump stocks, and that's assuming more devices are not secretly manufactured and sold in the meantime. To comply with the bump stock ban would be to merely encourage further confiscation efforts, but the lack of compliance makes it obvious that the policy is unpopular and will be expensive to enforce. Refusal to turn over the bump stocks is nullification in effect on an individual level. Hundreds of thousands of people are simply saying, quote, "We will not comply," end quote. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. A 13-year-old Overland Park, Kansas girl was arrested last month and charged with a felony after police say her classmates claim she made a gun-like hand gesture at multiple students. The Mind Unleashed reports the girl, a student at Westridge Middle School, flashed the finger gun at 4 fellow students and then toward herself September 18th. After her classmates asked her which 5 people in the classroom she would kill. That's according to Overland Park Police Chief Frank Donches. The student, who remains unidentified due to laws protecting her privacy, was arrested and charged the day following the incident for threatening a mass shooting, according to the Johnson County District Attorney's Office. The girl admitted to threatening others, the police have said. The context of the conversation remains unclear, but the girl is now living in California, according to the Kansas City Star. The girl's grandfather, John Kavanaugh, told the Star the girl was simply mouthing off. Arrests of children have skyrocketed over the last decade. That's according to the latest statistics published by the FBI. The statistics, compiled from 2013 to 2018, revealed more than 30,000 children under the age of 10 have been arrested, averaging more than 6,000 kids per year. Equally disturbing is students 10 to 12 years of age, top 266,000. Activist Post reports that in the past, students and children were disciplined with consequences such as timeout and paddling. But as more and more schools replace handling things internally with external police state options like school resource officers, children are ending up with arrest records and their fingerprints stored in databases. Often referred to as the school-to-prison pipeline, the principal players in the funneling of kids from school to jail are the school resource officers. What may seem like routine policing or modern-day policing methods to some, others see as a human rights violation, a slippery slope leading to a criminal life and a poor use of school resources. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Buying a burger might start taking a bite out of your wallet. Meat prices skyrocketed this week after the place that makes the meat revealed that the cow smashing machine is all beefed up.
This machine has beef way up in it. The basher, the meat collector, even the main meat hole, all of it. Lousy with beef.
The cow smashing machine is an integral part of the meat making process, taking whole big cows into one end, with all different meats falling out the other. Supermarket chains warn that unless we start smashing cows again soon, we could face a serious beef shortage. The beef industry is working hard to unclog the cow smasher, but says it could take several days or even weeks to scoop all the beef that's crammed up in there. Until it's fixed, Most meat-hungry Americans can take solace in the fact that the chicken grinder is working at full capacity, just completely tearing up all those chickens, and the pig machine is porking out hardcore. Up next, bluesmen find a rising trend of their babies done leaving on that there old devil train.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. You dial in toll free, bring up whatever you want here. 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Coming up tonight, people who are addicted to Fortnite are filing a lawsuit against the company that made the game. We'll tell you about that on the way here. By the way, with you tonight, it's Ian.
And Johnson.
And Conan.
Don't forget, you can join us online anytime you want. We got archives. They go way back, all the way to 2006. Download as many of them as you want for free over at freetalklive.com. So feel free to do that. We were talking about secession and kind of young. We ended up talking about young people today and how, while on one hand, they're immersed constantly in technology. Like, if you see a young person, it's almost guaranteed. I mean, we're not old, right? Like, we're about 40s, early 40s here, late 30s. So we're kind of zennials, right between Generation X and the millennials.
We're the transition from the skeptical X generation to the optimistic, idealistic millennials.
Are they optimistic? I've heard they're super depressed because they're all in debt.
No. Yes, the iGen, this next crop, this next generation, they are the super depressed ones. The millennials are very optimistic.
I thought the millennials were the ones that were depressed.
Not the ones I've seen.
Yeah, well, the ones I've seen are.
There's been headlines recently. I mean, obviously, individuals are different, right? It's not fair to talk about individuals when we're talking about generations, but there have been headlines recently about how Gen X and millennials are like super in debt and not so happy about it. But I guess they were saying the Gen Xers are less happy about it. So maybe the millennials are a little more optimistic.
I really do. So I'm a huge fan of the 80-year generational cycle. You know, you have 4 generations every 80 years, and then there's a reset. And then you have the same 4 generations that continue on. The boomers, just look at all the millennials you know, and all the boomers you know. They are so similar. And then you've got us, and we're all a little pessimistic. We're always questioning authority, very skeptical about everything. And
I would not say the millennials and boomers are alike. I don't know.
and that's why they're always yelling at. That's why they hate each other so much, because they're so similar.
They see themselves
so similar. Yeah. No, we have more in common with this next crop. These actual depressed kids
with the Z's,
these poor kids that just they don't really know what's going on, but they could feel it.
The Zoomers,
the iGen, the snowflakes.
Z.
These poor guys, they don't know what's really coming down the pike, but it's a feeling. And that's why they're these. Well, I feel so bad for them because they can't do anything. So worthless.
Well,
but they're going to have to pick up the slack, and they're going to figure it out. But it's going to be pain.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's going to have to worry about it. We're going to have AI by.
You think the robots are going to handle it?
AI and
make people even more worthless,
and $1,000 a month or a year or whatever it is.
Right.
The new Yang Gang.
The Yang Gang.
So if you want to weigh in here, you can. Are we, on it with these generational discussions, or are we way off base? The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. But what I was saying was, like, you got these younger generations constantly immersed in technology. Like, they don't look up from their phone when they're walking down the street. They're constantly doing something on the phone, but they don't really know.
We really need heads-up displays.
That's going to happen. Google had Google Glass.
Yeah, those things are awful.
It didn't work very well, from what I understand, but it's only a matter of time. They'll probably have one that projects right into your retina, or something like that.
I was thinking about that because it's really going to suck whenever we start jacking in. To really access the
Matrix,
the world around us.
Get your head jacked.
Exactly. You know how hard it's going to be for us. Because we do everything manually. I mean, it's like it's gonna just think of your old granddad playing Atari with you, 2600 or something. He couldn't figure it out. It's going to be the same for us whenever the new technology. You don't agree. You don't think you could jack in? I think your head is not wired right. I don't think you will be capable. But this new generation of depressies, they're probably going to pick it right up, especially when they're playing their latest games.
All I do is game, man. I'm like, I talk to people who are a lot younger. I'm like constantly on Twitch. I talk to people who are a lot younger.
And how much virtual reality do you play? It's all 2D.
I want a virtual reality headset. It's just expensive. I don't think a lot of people of that age, have the virtual reality.
I wonder what the
because they're
demographics are.
costly.
Yeah, I wonder what the demographics are of the virtual reality users, because I did get a chance to try out the first version of Oculus, which still has cables on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's got to go away. But I was at Derek J's house, actually. I think it was late last year.
I mean, I'd love to be playing Beat Saber right now, but I just don't have the rig.
It was amazing. Yeah. I mean, I had used like the Google Cardboard thing.
I've got a Google Cardboard myself. You know,
that's like a gimmick. It's kind of cool. It kind of gives you a little taste of what it's like. But the Oculus is much more immersive. Very, very cool, and the games are fun. The ones that I played, and this is still early. It's early generation.
Yeah, exactly. It's still new technology, and it's still visual. I'm talking about actually jacking in.
I know what you're saying.
Our brains are not wired.
What do you think? 10 years? We're gonna have 10 more years before that happens.
If we don't bomb ourselves back to the Stone Age.
Yeah.
Which is
possible.
Is
pretty optimistic, but maybe
optimistic. I would say at the very least, it's going to take 10 years to get to that point, because you've got to get. They're getting it to the point where these headsets can operate wirelessly now. Where you don't have these tethers that are holding you to the machine.
You have to have a PC in something that's light enough to put on your head.
Right. Or the hardware itself can just go on your head. And that's what they're starting to come out with, is just
They've figured out somehow to have like a wireless connection to the processing happening.
Well, no, they're starting to put. There's another version of, I think, Oculus, which unfortunately is owned by Facebook.
Yeah.
But that is actually a self-contained unit that doesn't have to have a PC, because that's one of the things that was holding people back. The first generation of virtual reality, and we're talking the more recent first gen, not like the 90s, but the first generation of these sets. The set itself was super expensive, like $500-$600.
You have to remember though that there's a trade-off, because you can have these different levels of headset, right? So that Facebook one is low power.
It won't be as good.
It's not as good. It's it's lower resolution. It can't handle.
But that's where it's going.
Sure.
That's where it's going. I'm just giving you the example of one of the reasons why it was cost prohibitive is not just because you had to spend $600 on the headset, but you also have to have a balls to the wall computer, like a $2,000 computer, to do like with dual graphics, right? Because your graphics card has to send out 2 images, one for your left eye and one for your right eye. So it has to have twice the graphics processing ability. So you had to have a real ballsy computer on top of that. So that's one of the main reasons. If they can get like a usable, entertaining form of virtual reality down to $300, where it's just all self-contained, you don't have any wires coming off, that's going to be the next
and keep in mind,
adoption level.
It can't be anything you have to build, because these kids don't know how to build anything. So it has to be all self-contained, in the package, ready to go.
Well, right, and they're making it easier, right? They're making it easier because, like,
at least for mainstream, I would suggest that's not true of gamers.
Yeah, I'm wondering
gamers, people who are like gamers, they are PC builders. I mean, even younger kids, they know how to build the PCs.
Really?
But
yeah, but not all of them.
But you're still talking about gamers. Yeah, not all of them, but a good portion of them.
I knew a gamer who I was over at her house a couple years ago, and her graphics card stopped working. Her game wasn't loading, and I was able to help her solve the problem by updating her graphics driver.
Right.
She's a gamer. She didn't know how to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know if I buy it.
Yeah.
I think that a gamer may be more likely than the average, say, phone user to be able to build their own computer. But I'm betting you that's still the minority.
Wait till you
of them.
can't access your favorite game and you start learning things
I don't know.
quick.
I've seen girls and people on Twitch, that they don't know how to do that. Look, okay, they don't know how to change a graphics card. They literally go on Google, watch a YouTube video, figure it out, and then they have it solved in a couple hours. Like, I've read and talked to people who exactly something like that has happened to. They just go and watch a YouTube video and then take care of it.
I'm glad to hear that they're able to do that. Gives me a little hope for the future.
I mean, so there is.
I tend to agree with Conan though on this one. I think that they're not particularly.
I think for mainstream adoption, I completely agree. I think I completely agree with for mainstream adoption, but I do think that there is still a contingent of people who I feel like the gamers, if you're a gamer in general, you're more hardware adept. If
you're a PC gamer, sure.
Yeah, PC gamer.
Yeah.
Which is in all you consoles out there, you suck.
Yeah, console.
Oh, don't be mean.
Stop being the only reason I'm playing Destiny 2 right now because it's PC, and I can shoot you in the eyeball doing backflips, and you with your stupid little hand controller aiming with your thumb. Whereas I'm aiming with a mouse and my whole arm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're talking specifically about first-person shooter
Conan
games.
There is
genre of gaming. There are genres of gaming where controllers are actually superior.
Well, let's get into first
platformers
person
and stuff.
Yeah.
Let's get into well, you want to talk about that game? You've got a game of the week here tonight.
We could talk about that anytime. We could talk about after Fortnite.
Well, we haven't done a game of the week in a while, so we're going to get to that. But yeah, there's Fortnite addiction. There's a lawsuit that's been filed, so let's get into that coming up here. 8:55, 450, free if you want to weigh in here. This is Free Talk Live.
Business owners, you want more customers? Accept cryptocurrencies. There's people all around you just waiting to spend money at your store. If only you would take it. I know, you've been waiting till someone else makes it easy. Well, good news. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com adds Bitcoin to your point of sale. Totally free. Use the same equipment you already have, now with Bitcoin. And unlike credit cards, there's no fees. Let the guys at HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com bring new customers to your store. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com.
Anarchapulco is the world's foremost conference for voluntarist thinkers and activists, held in beautiful Acapulco, Mexico. Share ideas on how to live free and escape the clutches of the state. Their unparalleled lineup of speakers will discuss entrepreneurship, investments, politics, philosophy, health, sustainability, lifestyles, and personal relationships. Stay in a world-class resort and enjoy the sun and beaches. February the 13th through the 16th, visit Anarchapulco.com for early bird pricing and 10% off with coupon code FTL.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
With Fortune DNA, you can invest in anything you want to, 100% tax-free for you and your heirs, and use your money before you're 59 and a half, without ever losing your principal, all with the blessing of the IRS. Avoid the volatility of the market, put certainty back in your investing future, and keep full access to your money with Fortune DNA. Join us at dna.freetalklive.com for more details and your exclusive invitation to the free webinar on Tuesday at 8 p.m. Register now at dna.freetalklive.com.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Are you tired of your taxes funding endless occupations around the world? Antiwar.com is run by people who understand that wars abroad become wars at home, wars on our freedoms. Antiwar.com is dedicated to bringing you the latest in news, views, interviews, and reviews from the top movers and shakers in the anti-occupation movement. Antiwar.com has it all, from thorough foreign policy analysis to interviews with whistleblowers who used to run the military-industrial complex. Anti-war, pro-free market. That's antiwar.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live. you're invited if you want to join us on the radio. Coming up, video game addiction. 2 young people, at least 2 of them, are being represented in a lawsuit being filed apparently against the company behind Fortnite. What is Fortnite? Well, if you've been living under a rock for the last couple of years, you may never have heard of it. If you've got any young people living in your family, you probably have heard of it. We'll tell you a little bit more about that. And then coming up, we'll stick on the gaming topic here a little bit as Conan has a game of the week. And since he's back, we actually haven't had a game of the week since Conan was last here. I don't think so. It's good to have you back here. By the way, helpmetakebitcoin.com is where you can go to start taking cryptocurrency at your business, whether it's a physical location where customers come in and buy things, or maybe you're a service provider and you go to your customers and provide them with some sort of a service or product, and you want to collect with cryptocurrency like Bitcoin or Dash or Bitcoin Cash. The app that you can get from helpmetakebitcoin.com, the AnyPay Take Crypto app, it's super easy. It makes it really easy to accept cryptocurrency. You'll be up and running within moments. Just go to helpmetakebitcoin.com. If you're used to like credit card merchant processing and you know that's a huge hassle with applications and a lot of waiting and a lot of privacy invasion and not to mention fees, none of that applies to helpmetakebitcoin.com. You just go get started, open up an account. There's no jumping through hoops. There's no paperwork. There's no fees. You accept cryptocurrency. You keep 100% of the sale through helpmetakebitcoin.com. And their apps are available for iOS or Android. And you can also just use any old web browser as well. So you don't even have to use their app. It's pretty sweet. It's helpmetakebitcoin.com. As we go to the story here from CBC News, the government news source there in Canada, reporting where a Montreal legal firm has requested authorization to launch a class action lawsuit against the widely popular video game Fortnite. The legal notice filed on behalf of the parents of 2 minors aged 10 and 15 likens the effect of the game to cocaine, saying it releases the chemical dopamine to the brain of vulnerable young people who can become dependent
The next
on
thing
play.
that they will be banning is sex, reading websites, seeing things that they like. What else? Like releases dopamine.
Yeah,
any positive experience.
Well, you can have the positive experiences, Johnson. You're just going to need to get a license first.
And it has to be approved by your betters.
Alessandra Esposito, one of the attorneys with Calex Legal, says, "We dug into it and realized there was a strong case for it." Ms. Esposito Chartrand and her firm was contacted by the parents interested in suing the company for producing such an addictive game.
These are just ambulance chasers.
She's
for real.
asking others concerned about their child's dependence on the game to come forward to join the class action suit. The authorization request was filed in Montreal court recently against U.S.-based Epic Games Incorporated and its Canadian subsidiary. Much of the suit is based on a 2015 Quebec Superior Court ruling that determined tobacco companies didn't warn their customers about the dangers of smoking. Huh? I've been to Canada, and it was a decade ago, more than a decade ago, and there are, it's hard to even get cigarettes in Canada. If I recall correctly, they had those packs, and please correct me if I'm wrong on this, Canadians. I could swear the Canadians had those packs of cigarettes where they had pictures of black lungs and dead babies.
Oh, God.
And when you open your pack up, it's like a cigarette from Fifth Element, where it's just the filter is 3 inches long. And it's just got a 1/4 inch of actual tobacco.
Well, I didn't actually buy a pack of cigarettes there, but when you go into the store,
they're $15 a pack too.
The other thing, when I went into the store, they didn't have them on display. It wasn't like in the U.S. where you can just walk in and see behind the counter. You had to get a book.
Yeah, they're back there with the girly magazines behind the counter.
They're stored away. You had to. There was like a flip book, like a 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper or whatever. You had to flip through and Marlboro, okay, yeah, here, pack of whatever. That was their display. So I mean, it's not like, and they're saying here this was a 2015 suit,
and then they you buy a pack of cigarettes from the flip book. The cashier turns around, flips open some latches on a drawer. comes out. They put on a yellow hazmat suit. Like their vault opens. They go in to grab the cigarette. They come out with some tongs. They're holding it.
That's probably
very
what
dangerous.
it's like now.
And everything is glowing.
Yeah. It's probably like that now. It's been 10 years since I've been to Canada.
Just so silly.
Terrifying.
How is Canada on the whole vaping situation these days?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Are they trying to ban it too, like we are here in the States?
It wouldn't surprise me.
Not we, the knucklehead politicians.
The nannies.
The nannies.
Wouldn't surprise me. If you're in Canada and you can answer the question, feel free to jump in here, or you can check CBC and see if they got any stories. But so anyway, back to the story about video games. The attorney says it's basically the same legal basis. It's very centered on the duty to inform. That multi-billion-dollar tobacco lawsuit is still playing out in court as the three implicated companies look to secure their creditor protection. Tobacco empires have been built over centuries, but Fortnite is proving to be a modern-day cash crop of its own. Epic Games is now worth billions of dollars, largely because of the game's success. And that success was built from extensive research and development that was aimed at creating an addictive game.
Well, there's an addictive game that I play.
That's every game out there.
There's an addictive game that I play that's under Epic Games.
Which one?
Satisfactory.
What is that?
It is a factory building game.
Oh, okay.
That is constant. It's in early access.
Like Sim Factory, basically?
I wouldn't call it a sim game. It's more like a first-person game, which
really?
is surprising. But it's like you continually advance the materials that you're building with to build more and more complicated machines. And those allow you to then manufacture other more complicated things. And essentially, the idea is that you are potentially working as a kind of an underling for a much more advanced civilization. Potentially, I don't know.
So
the
is
plot
it one of those games where it's free to download, but then they monetize it inside the game? That's what they do with Fortnite.
Cyber transactions.
No, you just pay for the game once.
So you pay for it, and then you don't have to keep putting in. But it's the same company that makes the game.
Well, it's it's exclusive to the Epic's Game Store.
Oh, okay. So maybe they're doing what Valve did and expanding out their store to where other companies can market through there. I see. So Epic Games, quote, according to the attorneys, when they created Fortnite for years and years, hired psychologists. They really dug into the human brain, and they really made the effort to make it as addictive as possible. They knowingly put on the market a very, very addictive game, which was also geared towards youth. When something is that dangerously addictive, said the attorney, it's companies' responsibility to warn users of the risk, she said. Quote, in our case, the two parents that came forward and told, if we knew it was so addictive, it would ruin our child's life. We would never have let them start playing Fortnite.
Man, we should ban schools under that kind of qualifications. Those
School's
are very
not addictive.
Sure, they're forced to be in there every day. They're
but it's not
constantly being
addictive.
exposed
The
to
opposite of addictive.
Any sane child wants to leave.
These adults clearly are addicted to it. It's harmful, right? And yet they're continually subjecting these kids to it, so they must be addictive to this harmful behavior. It's harming their society, and yet they're doing it anyway.
But
right?
Johnson, if we didn't have government-run schools, we'd be surrounded by stupid people.
No, that's the exact opposite of true, though.
Well, yes.
We are, in fact, being surrounded by stupid people because of government.
It's true.
Is true.
All right, there's more on the way here on this apparently 38-page lawsuit. The toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. If they get away with this, then look out every other software company in Canada because, as you pointed out, most games are pretty addictive.
I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly the best named one. I'm Mark Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all the major cryptocurrencies to Edge wallet, and you should too. No long phrases to memorize, just a username and password. Secure your freedom with Edge wallet. Get it now on Apple or Android in the App Store or at edge.app.
Warning, this is a privacy alert. You are being spied on right now, as I speak, by your phone. If you want this to stop, visit GoDarkBags.com and we'll show you how elite military units protect themselves and how you can too. Go Dark Bags are lab tested and guaranteed for life. Visit GoDarkBags.com now and enter discount code FTL to save 15%. That's GoDarkBags.com. Discount code FTL. Your privacy depends on it. End transmission.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project early movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
If you're looking for work, there's a piece of paper more important than your resume. It's the cover letter attached if you're snail mailing, or the email to which you attach your resume. Make it 4 short paragraphs. Paragraph 1, say that you're applying for work. The person you're sending to gets a ton of mail about all sorts of things. If you have a password, that's your first sentence. Tom Nelson tells me you and I should meet. Paragraph 2, what you do and how that relates to the opening. Be as specific as possible. Paragraph 3, why you want this particular job. I'm originally from Boston, so I know the market well. I have family and friends in the area, so this would be a homecoming for me. Paragraph 4, unless the job posting stipulates no calls, and I will call you to follow up. Thank you in advance for your time. From survivalspeech.com, I'm Holland Cook.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. Fortnite lawsuit. It's happening in Canada. And is that going to mean that it's going to face such scrutiny in other places? Well, certainly if they can get away with this, as well as every other video game company that has any kind of arm or subsidiary in Canada, they better start watching this real closely, because you've essentially got a set of attorneys that figured that a lawsuit that was successful apparently in 2015 against tobacco companies, saying, well, you tobacco companies, you didn't give enough warnings. So you lose this lawsuit. You need to put more warnings out there because people in 2015 didn't know that cigarettes are addictive and dangerous. And that's what they're coming at the Epic Games, who's the company behind Fortnite, one of the most popular games on the planet for the last couple of years. If you want to weigh in here, you're welcome to. Have you been addicted to video games? Because addiction to video games goes way back. I mean, there's been people... I can remember EverQuest back in the day? Did you ever hear about that one?
Do I?
Yeah. Were you hooked on that or
Dungeons and Dragons before before video games.
Was that as addictive, Dungeons and Dragons?
Sure.
Really?
And people were killing each other, too, with swords.
Yeah,
and they're worshiping Satan and the whole nine.
Nuh-uh.
That's
mythology.
That's what the pastor told me.
Okay, yeah.
Don't play Dungeons and Dragons. It's demons. It's demons and devils. And You'll be killing your parents before you know it.
Just like Harry Potter, right?
No.
Yeah.
Well, look, I was never into D&D. That was never something I did. Maybe you guys have some experience with that, but I can't imagine it being as addictive as gaming. You don't have the immediacy. With D&D, you had to like go and be with people, right? Like you had to go meet with people, and you had to get out the dice and get out the paper and the pen, and there was preparation and there was time that was spent. Whereas with Fortnite, you just plop down in front of the computer, or from what I understand, they even have like a phone version that a lot of kids play. I saw something on YouTube the other night where they were talking about how it was people who were our age, actually the Video Game Nerd. You ever seen his channel before?
Sure, I didn't watch it frequently, but I've heard of it.
Angry Video Game Nerd. They do like video game reviews. They have the Angry Video Game Nerd character, but then they have like their real guys that are behind the show that do just kind of gaming discussion. And they're talking about how a lot of young people specifically aren't playing Fortnite on the computer. They're playing a version of it on their phone.
Mm-hmm.
So they literally have it everywhere they go, which of course makes being addicted to something a heck of a lot easier. If you can pull it out in the back of your parents' car, if you can, sit down at the computer when you're home and play the full version or whatever, it's there constantly.
Yeah,
so
what these ambulance chasers have gotten correct is that yes, these games are designed to reward the human brain, the human psyche, with all the bells and whistles that really they get you. And it wasn't that prevalent in Dungeons and Dragons.
I imagine there
was a lot more work involved. But I mean, when you think about all of the tones and the sounds and the flashing lights and the whole nine, the reward system, there's a reason why I've seen people actually involving themselves with these microtransactions where they're actually getting back to the break room during work and they're dropping $10, $15, $20 on a stupid pack or something.
You've seen this happening?
I've seen it happen.
Your workplace?
At one of my old workplaces. I've seen it. I've seen them drop half of their paycheck on microtransactions. But I've also seen the same crew doing it on Magic the Gathering cards.
Okay.
Where they'll go buy a handful of packets up at the front desk, and they'll come back to the break room, and they'll have an unveiling. They'll have an opening, and they'll everyone
was this
get
Walmart? Was
this
this
Walmart? This is Walmart third shift. And there would be some guy he would fork out $30 and he would buy
just to see what was in the packs.
He would buy. Well, I mean They played every single evening, and they were good at it. I mean, they liked what they did.
I think all of us here have probably. I know you and I, Johnson, we played Magic the Gathering at some point in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Conan, have you ever played the game?
On the PC and on the PlayStation.
So you never played the actual card? You've never played the actual physical card game?
No, but I do sell them a lot
on
eBay.
You sell them, okay. Well, at least with the card game, you actually get the cards. You actually have. I mean, not that it's worth anything.
And a whole lot of cards that you're never going to use.
You're never right. Yeah. I've still got Johnson's brother's cards sitting up here on the shelves. I haven't done anything with them in however many years.
Actually, I do play. So I'm playing 2 games right now, and one of them is South Park Phone Destroyer, which is basically
I've heard about it.
It's a card collection game. It's like your basic Magic the Gathering, but there's action involved.
And are there microtransactions?
So you can if you want to go that route.
I wish I had said that you. I wish I could say that you had bought those cards from me, the Magic the Gathering cards, in crypto, because then it would be just embarrassing.
Oh, I know. That was a long time ago. I bought those.
Because then then I could say, oh yeah, I sold that whatever card
for $1 million.
Yeah, I have played a lot of games in my time. With these attachments, with these added bonuses, and I don't think I've ever spent money on.
I'm insulted by microtransactions.
I just don't go that way, and I play a lot, and I play a lot of free games too. By the way, the gaming industry would change overnight, or it would collapse if it was just Conan's running the show. Because
if you're the only player,
because I wait for. I'm the guy on Steam who has my wish list full, and I won't buy a game till it's 80% off.
$20.
Rockstar is going to get me again.
I won't buy it unless it's 80% off.
Yeah. I can tell you this,
and I get games all the time. You just got to wait. You just got to sit there and wait. That's how.
I'm patient like that too.
Yeah,
Rockstar Games is going to get me again.
What,
they got me with
they
got me with Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
And they're going to get me again with Red Dead Redemption. And that is when I say that they get me in that I want to play the game when the game comes out.
Right.
So I buy it for the console that I have.
Yeah.
and then they wait 6 months or whatever, and then they release it for the PC.
And you want to buy it a second time?
I do want to buy it a second time.
Just because it's got better graphics?
Well, not only that, but because there are two different audiences that play it on console and that play it on PC. So if you want to play with your friends, right, and you have friends that are different friend groups that play in different places.
For the
casuals are the ones that are on the console, and casuals are not so fun to play with.
For the longest time, I think the last game I played that was PC/console players was one of the I think it was the first Halo. And they did away with it because the PCers would just get in there and they would annihilate the consolers because they just couldn't. You can't compete with a guy with a keyboard and mouse. There's just too much finesse. But we might Destiny 2. They are actually looking into, if you get your Bungie account set up, where you can actually cross.
Yeah, more and more games are starting to finally enter this world of true
cross-platforming,
cross-platform interconnectivity. Yeah, and it's really, I think it's really going to be mostly a boon for the gaming industry. I think having these communities, because one of the things that makes these games last forever and ever and ever again is the modding communities, and just having a community build up around a game in general keeps that game alive.
Which is why
PC.
They're still modding Doom after 25 years.
The thing is that a lot of these developers of a lot of these games with the microtransaction and all that, what they don't understand is that's extremely short-sighted. Your game dies, right? And there's this concept. Anybody who's read a lot of marketing and online media stuff has probably heard of Chris Anderson. Chris Anderson is a writer. He wrote a book, Free, The Future of Radical Price. He's written another book, The Long Tail. And a lot of people have heard of The Long Tail. Mm-hmm. And if you think about it, Long Tail is, essentially as the internet has become more and more popular, more and more niche markets are springing up because in online and in economics in general, the long tail is where all the money is to be made. And that is that there's basically this logarithmic graph of the popularity of something. And, the way industries used to be built is around the hits, the mega hits. Like music industry used to be built around, one or two songs, one or two movies that would just be, they put all their money into it and focus it. And that's, they get all their return out of it. Well, it doesn't work that way anymore. Now.
Yeah, because everyone's doing it. So you have more competition and they're all trying to win.
Exactly.
And so they're just making a bunch of crap.
So now where all the money is where you can get a community that exists for a long period of time in these much, much smaller niches, and finding the correct niche to get enough attraction and popularity, but also you get this huge spread of just a trickle. You get a trickle of income over a very long amount of time, and that adds up to a lot more.
Well, don't tell that to the Fortnite people because they've made a bunch of money in the first few years. There's more coming up here.
Now.
855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450.
See what Apex does.
3733. Take control of the airwaves here on Free Talk Live.
Let me ask you something. What are you doing when you put money in a 401k or IRA, or store jumper cables in your vehicle, or purchase health insurance? You're preparing. You're preparing to ensure you have enough money for retirement. You're preparing for when your car battery dies, or to have assistance paying a major unexpected medical bill. That all makes sense. The same goes for building a food storage plan. You're preparing for when emergencies or disasters strike and shelves go empty at your grocery store. The best way to prepare is with My Patriot Supply. They've helped 1 million hardworking Americans become more self-sufficient. My Patriot Supply sells hundreds of items, including dozens of emergency food kits, at MyPatriotSupply.com. It could be an earthquake, a cyber attack freezing our banking system, or a disaster that shuts down our power grid for weeks. For all these emergencies and more, get your supplies and prepare today at MyPatriotSupply.com. No more rushing to find empty store shelves because you're too late. Do it now so you're ready. MyPatriotSupply.com.
When you have a pain in the neck, a real pain in the neck, back, shoulder, or legs, you now have 2 convenient choices to get fast relief without taking another pill. Because now, Sunny Bay heating wraps and pillows are available at both Amazon and Walmart. Yes, see Sunny Bay's 4.5 to 5-star customer reviews on Amazon.com or Walmart.com. Our microwavable heat wraps, heatable neck pillows, and extra large body wraps are designed better for perfect support where and when you need it. Even while driving, Sunny Bay wraps will not burn and stay balanced to provide soothing hot or cold therapy to help treat temporary or chronic pain. And the best part, Sunny Bay quality products start at under $20. Join thousands of happy customers and see why Sunny Bay products have a lifetime 100% positive rating on both Amazon and Etsy. It's easy. Click Amazon or Walmart and search today for Sunny Bay.
Free Talk Live
is everything that you've spoken of about the government tonight has been in a negative connotation.
What is there to like about the federal government?
Tell me what's great about the United States federal government.
Protection. They protect us.
They've got a military that's 9 times the next closest military. That's not protection. I'm forced to pay for it.
The terrorists will tell you the reason why they're engaging in terrorist activities, if they are inside the United States, is because of what the U.S. government's military is doing. They're putting us in greater danger through their actions, sir.
When is the last time that you've watched someone else stab someone blatantly or blown themselves up?
That has nothing to do with the federal government.
An armed populace is what keeps a particular area safe, not soldiers.
Yeah, right.
Soldiers are all over the place in Venezuela.
Yeah. Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
I'm a little obsessed with My Magic Mud. Several years ago, I met Jessica Armand, the founder and CEO of My Magic Mud, and I didn't even know my teeth were coffee stained. A week's worth of use convinced me, and now I use it every 3 or 4 days. It's clinically proven to whiten teeth, and I think it cleans better, too. My Magic Mud's available at most local health food stores, Sprouts, Natural Grocers, CVS, Walmart's Natural Beauty Aisle, but I can get it for you for 20% off with coupon code FTL20 at mymagicmud.com. FTL20 mymagicmud.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can dial in toll free here. If you can put down the Fortnite, you can call in, that is. According to the
bunch of addicts out there.
According to the lawsuit in Canada, they're going after Epic Games, saying Fortnite's addictive, and they didn't have the appropriate warning labels. And I guess they want an on-screen warning or something. I'm not sure exactly what's going to come out of this, but it doesn't sound good. With you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Johnson.
And Conan.
Also, I want to make sure you know about Liberty.menu. If you're a liberty-minded person, an individual who rejects the initiation of force and agrees to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle, you really ought to have the things that you do listed over at Liberty.menu. Maybe you've got a business. Maybe there's an event that you're involved in creating. Perhaps you're a digital content creator and you want people to know, people who care about freedom, that is, to know what you do. Well, that's what Liberty.menu is all about. It's about bringing new people to your business who also care about freedom. You can go to Liberty.menu to get signed up and get started. You can use code FTL on your user profile and get a Free Talk Live listener badge. And it's a free site, so you can list all the things that you're doing and get some free exposure for no cost. Now, you can upgrade and, promote your site a little bit further than the other ones on the site. But again, by itself, the site is free to use. So get started over at Liberty.menu. 38-page request of authorization filed in court in Canada, in Montreal court, this just last week. According to the attorneys there, they're using a court case that had previously been successful against tobacco companies where they were being found to have not been warning labeled up enough. So without enough warnings, people are just they're just making a mistake. According to these parents here, they said the parents involved in this case, 2 young people aged 10 and 15, are the plaintiffs here. The parents said, we would never have let them start playing Fortnite, or at least we would have monitored it a lot more closely if we'd known it was so addictive that it would ruin our child's life.
How's that Surgeon General warning on the pack of cigarettes actually stopping nicotine abuse?
Well, they're just saying they need to have bigger warnings, more warnings. It's not big enough. Which is why they started putting like dead babies on cigarette packs.
And has that actually halted the sale of cigarettes?
I don't know. Chartrand, as the attorney, was unable to say how much money her firm is going to be seeking or when the judge will rule on the request. Fortnite is a free-to-download game that earns much of its revenue through in-game purchases. Players can upgrade their characters by purchasing outfits, accessories, and access to certain levels. Epic Games did not immediately reply to a request for comment, although their company's terms of service does include a class action waiver provision. You know, when you install all this software that you install these days, and actually every day in the past where these software terms of service come up, you guys read that stuff, right?
Oh, of course. I've seen, was the South Park, I can't even remember the name of it anymore.
What, did they make fun of terms of service?
Oh, you better believe they did. No one reads it.
Right. Well, apparently in the terms of service here, there's a class action waiver, meaning that you give up the right to go to court. So you're agreeing to arbitration, basically, if if you have some sort of dispute. But the attorney...
That's right. It was the sent to iPad.
Oh, yeah, sent to iPad.
The attorney said that those terms of service don't stand up in court in Quebec because the province's Consumer Protection Act requires company to clearly disclose risks associated with products or services. Epic Games is also facing legal action in California, and she expects more cases will be launched elsewhere. The most recent version of the game, Fortnite Battle Royale, has more than 125 million players worldwide. So,
I want to know what types of damages have these kids suffered?
Well, yeah, they don't get into exactly how their lives have been ruined. The mother did say that her child's life was ruined.
So they're 15-year-olds.
Or 10. There's a 10 and a 15-year-old.
They don't, like we've talked about, this generation doesn't do anything. They know how to look at their screens.
What are they missing out on? Exactly.
Maybe they got a hold of mommy's credit card and made a whole bunch of transactions or something.
You better believe it.
Or maybe they're hugely obese and they're just sitting there and they've got diabetes and they're wasting away. Who knows? But I don't know.
My guess would be that to go the other route, and not what they're running towards, but maybe what are they running away from?
Their own parents, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
could be.
Maybe they're escaping something.
Well, why do we? What are you trying to say, Johnson? Because we all three are heavy gamers.
I'm not heavy at all.
Yeah.
Are we trying to escape reality?
I wish I could play more games, and yeah, absolutely.
It's been months for me. I haven't played a game in months.
Yeah, for me, absolutely, it's an escape from reality, and it's for me. I also play a lot of puzzle games, so it's like literally, it's escaping boredom for me. I don't have, I guess, enough. There just aren't a lot of tasks that keep me very interested, and it's like, well, that's one that does, but I'm not really playing, like Fortnite. I kind of grown out of the mindless first person shooter. I require extremely complicated games now.
You need more brainy stuff.
Games nowadays are like outstanding. Like I've been playing games like Oxygen Not Included and Satisfactory, and like the level of science to some of these games now that like requires some background knowledge they're awesome. They're so complicated. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, you were telling me you were really getting into the Oxygen Not Included, which was like super, like lots of options and controls and stuff.
Yeah, extremely complicated. These games are like huge amounts of game time just to get like competent.
Did I hear you mention roguelites before?
Yeah, so I have played a little Risk of Rain too, but I not for a long time. Risk of Rain is like a really popular new roguelike game.
And by the way, for the listeners, this is a type of game where it basically resets every time you play. You don't save your character and you're able to carry.
Yep.
I don't like them.
Oh, really?
Is this an online game?
The roguelike is a type of game.
Is it a one-player game?
It's more like the old Atari games where you played every time you reset the game.
You got to leave it on if you want to pick up where you left off, basically?
Correct.
That's annoying as hell.
Or when you die, that's it. So it's an Iron Man type of game.
I see.
Yeah.
And I don't like it. I actually like to,
save your progress.
Save my progress. I like to collect. I like to have that. That's an option that
See,
I like.
I'm the opposite from you, Johnson, as far as like complicated games. I like my games simple because I don't want to spend a bunch of time getting into a game because what'll happen is...
I've watched you getting massively frustrated solving some of the Doom puzzles.
What'll happen is I will get into a game and then I have to put it down for like months because I just won't want to spend more time on it, and then I'm like, okay, how do I play this game again? Where was I?
That's exactly a lot of what was being said while you were trying to solve some of these. Like, damn it, which way did I go? Where was that?
Right.
I've got to go back here. Okay, I think it was over here.
If I don't play it straight through, if I don't play it like day after day, I'll lose whatever ability I had to play it.
And I'm the exact opposite. I like games where I actually have to go online and find some forums and some guides.
Oh, really?
You would like the games that I play.
Just so I can min-max my character, because I like to build, just epic characters. And I like to say, all right, well, how do you do that? What's the best stats I need to, involve this character in? And I usually don't finish a game until I feel like I have developed the Uber character. So I don't necessarily have to beat the last boss. It's just when I get to a point where I'm just slaying.
But how are you two? So you sound like you're describing two RPGs, and I'm not a fan of RPG games.
I love RPGs.
Yeah, see, I don't like RPGs because a lot of what I find in RPGs, and this is weird because I have to like, I guess, temper this statement, but I would say that a lot of RPG games, I've found that there's a lot of grinding to just doing repetitive tasks to up your character stats to, just to get to the next stage. You have to do all these meaningless, boring things, frankly.
Fetch quests.
Yeah, fetch quests at the same time. But then...
Well, they're all meaningless. I mean, all games are just ways for you to pass time.
But I mean meaningless. I mean, they're kind of menial and boring. They're not interesting. In other words, the developers didn't put that much time into them to even doing that. And I would say that to a certain extent, that's true of RPGs, but I have to temper that statement because I actually really like the Assassin's Creed games, like a lot. And actually, even recently, again, I mentioned Red Dead Redemption, and there's a little bit of that in those. But I feel like their side quests in those games are not as one-dimensional as a lot of the RPG game quests are, in that, the every little side quest in the Assassin's Creed games, for the most part, has a little mini storyline in it. It's like you're solving something, like this person's like, oh, this, was taken from me. This, this was stolen. Go, get these, get it back for me. But there's like variety to it. And it kind of feels the same way with the Red Dead Redemption games, kind of the same kind of thing.
Do you buy anything in these games with microtransactions?
No, never.
Have you, Ian?
No.
All right. There's three of us. I have never purchased a microtransaction ever.
It said it's generational. I've read an article that says
I see them and I don't even notice it. And by the way, I am the same way in the store. I don't think I've ever bought an impulse item up at the register. Ever.
I bought some beef jerky more than once.
I will say I have spent on microtransactions once in a phone game.
Oh, really?
I was playing Fallout Shelter by Bethesda. And I did spend a little bit, but it's such a small it was such a microtransaction. It's like 50 cents or $1 or something like that. I'm like, okay, fine.
The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. I will say this, before microtransactions became a thing, I did do some DLC, downloadable content, for one of the Fallouts a long time ago. But that's like extra levels and things like that. It's not quite the same.
Sometimes I'll do that up front.
More coming up. Hour 3's next. It's Free Talk Live.
She's such a beautiful little puppy. I mean, we walk around the block and neighbors always say, her hair is so beautiful.
Healthy and shiny and glossy. DINOVITE.com.
Fatty acids, omega-3s, and omega-6s are great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
I would really recommend people starting their puppies on Dynavite before they get into what I would call the misery index. Bad skin, bad ears, bad breath.
Because if they're getting all their vitamins, micronutrients, microbials from the beginning, then you're not going to run into the problems associated with the allergies, grass, pollen, dust, dirt, fleas, ticks, you name it, and the itching and shedding down the road.
Our vitamins and enzymes replace the nutrients cooked out of most commercial dog foods.
Dynavite for life.
This is Ed Lukasevic
and Cindy Lukasevic,
inviting you and your pets to Dynavite.
859-428-1000. DINOVITE.com.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,488, silver at $17.54, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,238. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, bump stock owners aren't complying with an illegal federal ban approved through an unconstitutional bureaucratic process via the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. According to the Washington Times, only 1,000 bump stocks were collected in the run-up to the March deadline. There are between 280,000 to 520,000 bump stocks in circulation, according to the Justice Department. Activist Post reports that the feds would have to replicate that same rate of the collection either 280 or 520 times in order to recover all the remaining bump stocks, and that's assuming more devices are not secretly manufactured and sold in the meantime. To comply with the bump stock ban would be to merely encourage further confiscation efforts, but the lack of compliance makes it obvious that the policy is unpopular and will be expensive to enforce. Refusal to turn over the bump stocks is nullification in effect on an individual level. Hundreds of thousands of people are simply saying, quote, "We will not comply," end quote. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. A 13-year-old Overland Park, Kansas girl was arrested last month and charged with a felony after police say her classmates claim she made a gun-like hand gesture at multiple students. The Mind Unleashed reports the girl, a student at Westridge Middle School, flashed the finger gun at 4 fellow students and then toward herself September 18th. After her classmates asked her which 5 people in the classroom she would kill. That's according to Overland Park Police Chief Frank Donches. The student, who remains unidentified due to laws protecting her privacy, was arrested and charged the day following the incident for threatening a mass shooting, according to the Johnson County District Attorney's Office. The girl admitted to threatening others, the police have said. The context of the conversation remains unclear, but the girl is now living in California, according to the Kansas City Star. The girl's grandfather, John Kavanaugh, told the Star the girl was simply mouthing off. Arrests of children have skyrocketed over the last decade. That's according to the latest statistics published by the FBI. The statistics, compiled from 2013 to 2018, revealed more than 30,000 children under the age of 10 have been arrested, averaging more than 6,000 kids per year. Equally disturbing as students 10 to 12 years of age topped 266,000. Activist Post reports that in the past, students and children were disciplined with consequences such as timeout and paddling. But as more and more schools replace handling things internally with external police state options like school resource officers, children are ending up with arrest records and their fingerprints stored in databases. Often referred to as the school-to-prison pipeline, the principal players in the funneling of kids from school to jail are the school resource officers. What may seem like routine policing or modern-day policing methods to some, others see as a human rights violation, a slippery slope leading to a criminal life and a poor use of school resources. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
This is the Onion Week in Review. A report by Stanford University researchers released Thursday found that Americans spend 90% of their waking hours staring at glowing rectangles. Researchers identified more than 30 varieties of iridescent rectangles, ranging from personal and work rectangles to rectangles that heat food and those that can fit right in one's pocket.
From the moment Americans wake up, they're captivated by these bright, pulsing rectangles. In fact, if you look at the data, it's hard to find a single minute when the public isn't captivated by these, I'm sorry, where were we?
In local news, a run-over squirrel is remembered as frantic and indecisive. And in other news, a trail of rose petals leads a wife to a sink full of dishes. Prince Fielder reports to spring training exactly the right amount overweight, and a local yard sale reeks of divorce. If you don't hear the sound of my voice the same time next week, alert my family and then visit theonion.com/newsbeat.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. We're doing a little bit of pop culture gaming discussion here tonight, and it's appropriate because the three of us are, well, pretty much we're all gamers to some extent or another. It's one of those things I wish I could spend more time on, and I suppose I could, but then I would be putting off more productive things, and I always feel kind of bad about that. So I haven't even done a game stream in, I don't know, since before the Porcupine Freedom Festival. Maybe I did one in August or something like that, but it's been months since I've done that. But, you know, we live in a world today, and sometimes I think, well, are we talking too much about games here on, you know, this talk show? But this is a new, you know, this is like people who are adults now are gamers from way back.
We are the demographic.
Yeah.
I mean, it keeps, the age range keeps growing as we age. So, yeah, it's like 40, 41.
The money demo or whatever, right?
Like, no, I don't know if we're the money demo, but we actually are the players.
Well, plus...
What's the most subscribed channel on YouTube?
PewDiePie?
Oh, right. Hello, gamers.
Yeah. Yeah, but isn't his... Yeah, but I bet you his audience is younger.
Well, he always calls them 9-year-olds, yeah, but...
Because I think that the watching other people play games thing is a younger person's thing for the most part. Like kind of in the same way that we don't do the microtransactions, but younger people do. I think a lot of the people that watch people play video games are also younger. They grew up with YouTube and things like that. We didn't. And watching gaming is like a whole industry. That's why Twitch exists.
So I've been, you know, really getting into Twitch just to explore it because I'm like, what is this?
You're a streamer.
Well, I was. I mean, I've come and gone from this kind of streaming thing because I just, you know.
So you're exploring it as a viewer?
Yeah, I was doing both, right? Because to become a streamer, right, I wanted to know, like, okay, what's going on? What's everybody doing? Like, I really wanted to get into and investigate this sort of this phenomenon, right? There are a surprising amount of people that are actually older and that are our age or, you know,
that are watching or streaming?
That are watching.
How do you know?
Because they'll mention their age and they'll talk about it, and they're, you know, people, you know, it's a huge spectrum. And it depends. I think it depends on the age of the streamer as well, like who's streaming, and you know, because
can they relate to
everyone?
that person?
You know, everyone gets a different community, right?
Yeah.
And it depends on what the streamer is trying to accomplish. But I do think that the larger channels do tend to skew younger, and I do think they also have to be like, if they're streaming for safer content, right? Because there are a lot of streamers out there that are doing some crazy stuff. It's been in the news, you know, like where there's been these dramatic kind of like, you know, vajayjay shots that have happened on
You're talking
certain
about
streamers and certain streamers throwing their animals over their shoulder, just doing crazy, obnoxious. Like, what are you doing?
Johnson is referring to the Twitch thoughts.
Yes, there's several different Twitch thoughts
over there.
But there's also
who don't really play games, but they kind of do every now and then. But it's all about it's all about boobs.
Super hot, so they get.
It's all
lots
about
of
the
fans.
booty.
Yeah.
But
it's about doing yoga.
Twitch itself, okay, so for example, there's a famous Twitch streamer, or was formerly Ninja,
who moved this year to a Microsoft platform. And his channel, wasn't shut down, and so there was some stuff, I guess, somehow Twitch was either accidentally or intentionally advertising pornographic content somehow on his channel, which isn't allowed on Twitch.
Yeah, which is specifically geared towards. It's not allowed, but it happens all the time.
They're going to shut you down.
Unless they are making a lot of money off of you, and then they'll slap you on the wrist,
shut you down,
and you'll be shut down for a week.
It just might take a couple of weeks or months, And meanwhile, these people are using throwaway accounts.
I have noticed in the last year. So I watch a lot of YouTube, like everyone does. A lot of the new content providers that I have started watching are Twitch gamers. Except they really don't do that anymore. They show a lot of their footage during their YouTube videos, but they're talking politics. They're talking about the culture. So I do find that interesting. I don't know what age these guys are. I think they're probably older millennials, late Xers.
One thing that I've learned about Twitch is that you're not going to really accomplish anything on Twitch if you're just getting on Twitch and trying to start and build something up, for the most part, unless
you think the time has passed for that.
Yeah, I think so. Unless you're an extremely attractive female,
right,
or you're really, really entertaining, naturally. You're naturally really entertaining, and you're not
have to be in order
you're not
to
just playing
rise
games.
Above.
You're not just playing games. You're really engaging, personality wise.
Mm-hmm.
But I even think that still would be a massive struggle over what you could do, which is take those exact same talents and apply them towards, making a more curated, shorter series on a platform that is discoverable, like YouTube or even Twitter, and using Twitter's video or, any other platform where there actually is search and recommendations, which Twitch doesn't have.
Really?
And until Twitch solves, Twitch it's kind of like a well-known fact amongst streamers.
Well, you can search for the
like
game you want to see on Twitch.
Yeah,
right?
And then you can scroll for
and then it orders by popularity.
Yeah, exactly. And that's by popularity. And if that game is at all popular and you're just trying to get started on
You'll
Twitch,
be at the bottom
forget
of the
it.
list.
Yep.
And I agree with Johnson completely. And this is why I don't watch Twitch streams, and I am not a streamer, because I couldn't play a game and have a conversation with the audience at the same time.
It's hard.
Because I get into it, I get involved, I go Rain Man.
Well, and here's the thing too: if you're new,
it's the same way.
If you're new, right? If you're a new streamer, you're not having a conversation with anyone.
There's no one there.
There's no one there.
Well,
you're having a conversation with no one.
Yeah, but your videos are uploaded for 2 weeks or something.
That's it. Yeah, and then they're
that's
gone.
it.
Unless you turn around and upload them to YouTube.
Which you should
time.
do.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can. And
I
actually
looked into it. And because I'm not a horrible gamer, and but I'm just not entertaining as a host.
Yeah.
And game at the same time.
You might be. If you spend, and again, I think it's about you should go and spend time actually watching some smaller streams and seeing what they do. Like what these people do. Not the big time streamers, because there becomes a level, right? So Twitch is actually really unique and interesting as a platform because of that interactivity with the community. That's where Twitch actually shines. But there's this in-between middle ground, right? Where there's this, it's like the long tail, right? You have a few streamers that are huge, right?
These are celebrities.
Yeah, it's a very small audience, in terms of
I don't mean they were celebrities before they started streaming, like Kanye or something like that. But they became celebrities.
Well, there are some. Andy Milonakis. I thought it was kind of amusing that Andy Milonakis is on there.
I remember hearing about him previously.
Yeah, he used to be on MTV. He did this very strange show. He's kind of a comedian.
But what I mean is the people
rapper.
like the Ninja that you mentioned. These folks who created their celebrity by becoming these popular streamers. There's actually a really interesting article at Kotaku.
They got in early.
Right. And for whatever reason, they were good at it, right? Because if you aren't that interesting to watch, no one's going to watch you. If your reactions aren't good, that's why I was like, what's the deal with PewDiePie? Why is he the #1 channel on YouTube? I think it's because of his reactions. I think he's got like these really expressive, like really reaction.
And he tells, he's a storyteller.
See, I don't know. I've never really watched much of him, but the little bits I've watched have always been him doing ridiculous reactions. And of course, the interacting with the stream viewers is important as well. But I think what you're saying is once you get to a certain level,
that's a whole other element. Actually, looking at your chat while you're playing the game and having a conversation with them. So they got 3 things going on.
Well, right. But once you get to a certain level of popularity, you can even possibly read the chat.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying.
It's going by a billion miles a second.
There's that curve. If you're only watching the big streamers, right, which is a very small, like there are like thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of people streaming on Twitch at any given moment.
Millions, I think. I thought I've heard that it's like a couple million streams.
I think that may be true in a month, but I mean at any given moment, there's probably like 30 or 40,000.
That sounds at least true.
Right now, right? Like, and of those, maybe 100 of them are big, right? So the rest of them, only have a couple thousand followers, if that, or a couple hundred followers, and those they still have huge chats. Like people are interacting in those chats, and it's worth watching those small ones because the bigger ones, again, once they get to the point where they can't even interact with their chat anymore, it's just thousands of messages flying by at a speed you can't even read at.
They do whatever they want.
And they're not interactive anymore. They're not really what Twitch was made for anymore. And I definitely think it's worth checking out the smaller streamers to see how they are, because that's, I think, half the fun of Twitch is the article. It's interactive.
Yeah, you'd really like this article at Kotaku. It's fairly recent. It's about the recent Twitch con. So they have like a convention that they go to, and it kind of talks about like how these big stars behave when they're around all these fans or whatever. Do they hide behind like in the secretive areas for the stars, or do they come out? More coming up here in moments. This is Free Talk Live. I'll tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet at edge.app. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet.
Divvy is crypto made easy. Anyone can use Divvy to securely and seamlessly spend, earn, store, or exchange digital money, the US dollar, and euros. Divvy is fast. Transactions happen in seconds with fewer fees. While other altcoins are languishing, the Divvy price has risen substantially against BTC. Now's the time to make a switch to Divvy, or make your start with cryptocurrency with Divvy. Visit DivvyProject.org. Divvy is crypto made easy. Plus one-click masternodes. DivvyProject.org. Again, DivvyProject.org. Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at mark@freetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. mark@freetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, mark@freetalklive.com.
You love Bitcoin. It's the future, right? Well, no, not if everyone stops using it. I mean, think about it. How many places in your town take Bitcoin? One? None? Let's be real. If this Bitcoin thing is ever going to happen, it's going to need your help. The good news is, the guys at AnyPay have your back. We built a website called helpmetakebitcoin.com. And it's a place you can send any business. And they'll be set up to take Bitcoin in 5 minutes. helpmetakebitcoin.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm.
If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveatpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveatpurse.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You bring up whatever you want here. Toll-free number 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Actually, some calls came in here. We're going to go right to those phone calls. But first, I do want you to know about local.bitcoin.com. It is a global trading platform that actually respects your privacy. That's really one of the things that sets it apart. Now, one of the other things that sets it apart is it's exclusive to Bitcoin Cash. You can buy or sell Bitcoin Cash with dozens of payment methods. But most importantly, there's no identification requirements to join the site, to create an account. You don't have to show ID. There's nowhere to actually put any information about ID anywhere into your profile. So they don't want to know who you are. It's none of their business. And they don't even want to know what you're saying between the buyers and the sellers. Those communications are encrypted on local.bitcoin.com. Now, you can allow an administrator to read them if you opt into that. So if you need like a dispute to be solved with a buyer or seller, then you can do that. But by default, it's encrypted. So check it out at local.bitcoin.com. You can get started trading Bitcoin Cash. Let's go to Mike. He's in Gold Bar, Washington, listening to KBKW. Hello, Mike. You're on Free Talk Live.
Hi, you guys.
Hey.
I have to admit, I've made it to level 3. I've never saved the princess, so I'm not a gamer. But I have a buddy that lives in front of this giant television. He spent 5 years in prison, and he's literally spent about 7 years afterward, maybe more, and he watches this guy that wears a pirate hat. He's a gamer. I have no idea who he is, but it's kind of funny to me because I just am like more into gardening and you know, going out and social. So I'm just not a gamer. But the shooting in Texas, the most recent one where the 6-year-old boy lost his mother to someone that didn't obviously follow any protocol that police should follow. I'm just wondering how the story would go if the lady that raised her blind seeing something in her window, because you know if you're in a lit room and you look out into the dark out a window, there's glare, you're not going to know what would have been like if she pulled the trigger and cast
I don't know what story
in.
this is. What is the story you're referring
to? The lady where the police officer was called for a health and welfare because their door was open at 2:30 in the morning. So a neighbor called, and it turned out that there was a 26-year-old mother of a 6-year-old playing World of Warcraft, I think it was, with her little boy. The officer, instead of going to the door and saying, "Hey, it's officer friendly, we're just doing a health and welfare, your neighbors are concerned," he snuck around the house somehow, and she either heard him or saw his flashlight. She grabs her 9, pulls the window up to surprise him, and he kills her.
Oh my God. Okay, so hold on. So she was spooked because somebody was creeping, in this case a cop, outside of her windows.
Yes,
she pulls her gun because she's spooked. She wants to protect herself and her child. And then the officer says, "Oh, we got a live one here," and just blasts her.
Right, and all he did, according to all the mixed news stories, is yell, "Put your hands up," and then he shot her because she was carrying a gun. And
this was
I hope
Texas?
that he is man. This is and I just hope for this officer's sake that he is man enough to step up in the courtroom and say, "I really, really, really messed up."
No, there's no way he'll say that.
And just make it better. You know what I mean? Because they're making it like maybe she did something wrong.
That's the way they want to make it.
I mean, how they.
Hold on there. This guy was charged with murder.
That doesn't mean he'll be convicted.
I think he should be man enough to just say, "I'm so sorry. I did this. I was wrong completely. Hang me. Do something." But I just wonder how it would have went if she shot him, and I think she had every right to do so.
Yeah.
So far, it sounds like she was legally possessing a firearm.
Well, she probably didn't have a right to shoot him because she didn't know what she was looking at, right? Like she just had a gun and she heard some noises outside.
That's true. That is true. But
so you don't just get the right to just start blasting at every errant noise from outside your window.
But you know what I find the most interesting is she was actually to maintain restraint under the circumstances, and the trained professional was not able to maintain restraint, and now we have a child that's missing his mother.
Wow.
Well, considering what happened with Amber Geiger,
it's just really a shame. That's all. That's all I had to. That's all. Thank you,
Mike.
Gentlemen.
Thanks for the call. I would really appreciate hearing from you. Thanks for thank you. Thanks for bringing that to our attention.
Considering what happened to Amber Geiger and that she got 10 years, at least she got something.
This is the cop who shot the dude in his own apartment that she thought was her apartment that she drunkenly barged into.
That she supposedly thought was her apartment, which is what she claimed.
Well, I mean, she was supposedly pretty wasted.
And it wasn't some kind of love spat or something. Yeah. And she was just mad at the guy or whatever. I mean, but anyways, she did get 10 years.
She did. But that's unusual, Conan.
Well, I mean, this is a very similar situation, except it's a very similar situation. And
there's been a ton of situations like this over time where cops have killed innocent, peaceful people.
And times are changing.
I don't know, man.
People
I
are
hope
waking
you're
up.
right.
People are getting woke to this type of.
I think it was a fluke. I think Geiger was a fluke. I don't think you're going to see a series of Geiger-like convictions anytime soon.
Well,
I mean, I want to believe you.
I think that it is changing. I think it really is.
I hope you're right and that I'm wrong about this, but I don't see it. I don't see people.
Yeah, there are too many Blue Line supporters out there with their flags in their front yards.
Yeah, man. They've still got it on.
Cops can't do wrong. I mean, it's support your local cop, support your firemen, and support your teachers. They can do no wrong. Give them all a trophy.
You are right, though, Conan, that it is harder now for police departments to hire people.
This is true. We're seeing it right here in Keene. They have a lot of openings, and they can't figure out why they can't find the folks. And they talk about it's kind of a rural kind of a situation.
That ain't it.
People don't want to move here, and I'm like, no, that's not it at all. You look at your drug war. You look at what these cops are spending most of their time doing, and a lot of them are wising up and like, I don't want any part of that.
Yeah, well, maybe people have figured out they don't want to actually have to arrest their friends for things that, didn't actually harm another person. I had one of the cops who is part-time at the college here in town. He's the chief of police in one of the towns that are in the region. I forget which town it is, but we had a conversation a couple of years ago about this, and he told me that he's having trouble finding people to hire, not on the college campus, but in his police department. And this is just, like a small town police department, probably one of the easier places to work. But nope, it's difficult to find people who are willing to be a cop.
And I am perfectly okay with that.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Let's go to Robbie. He's in Albuquerque. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Robbie.
Oh.
Hi, you're on the air.
Hi. So I just want to talk about, the current state of YouTube. How do you guys feel about that, since you guys are YouTubers yourself?
Well, when you say the current state of YouTube, do you mean like the policies that YouTube is handing down, the demonetizations, things like that?
And just what's popular, like the upcoming boxing match between KSI and Logan Paul.
I don't know what that is. Is that a name drop?
Is this sports? Because I don't think any of us are sports ballers.
Hold on, Robbie. We'll bring you back here in just a moment. Which the funny thing is, there's actually two callers named Robbie on hold, and they're both in New Mexico. So
YouTube is everything. Everything is on its way out eventually. Even Bezos has come out and says
YouTube's
Amazon.
peaked?
YouTube is it's going out. Twitter it'll have its day. It's had its day. It'll be replaced by something else.
What's going to replace YouTube?
There are lots of options out there. Lots of people who are trying different formulas, and that are more supportive of free speech, which YouTube is not.
That's true.
And a lot of people who have been demonetized and or banned have gone elsewhere.
There's more coming up here in moments. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. You can bring up what you want. We can talk more about the state of YouTube, one of the world's largest platforms, coming up.
Warning, this is a privacy alert. You are being spied on right now as I speak by your phone. If you want this to stop, visit GoDarkBags.com and we'll show you how elite military units protect themselves and how you can too. GoDark Bags are lab tested and guaranteed for life. Visit GoDarkBags.com now and enter discount code FTL to save 15%. That's GoDarkBags.com. Discount code FTL. Your privacy depends on it. End transmission.
Do you want to join the ultra-wealthy by using a 160-year-old investing program that is no longer exclusive? Keep your funds fluid and 100% tax-free for you or your heirs with no contribution limits and without ever losing your principal with Fortune DNA. Learn how to avoid the volatility of the market and put certainty back into your investing future. Join us at dna.freetalklive.com for more details and your exclusive invitation to the free webinar on Tuesday at 8 p.m. Register now at dna.freetalklive.com.
Hi, I'm Derek J. To me, an activist's calling is to actively work to advance a cause. The cause for which I work is personal freedom. I believe my life is best when I engage in voluntary interactions and self-government. I reject the idea that anyone else has a higher claim to my life or my body than I do. I see people who call themselves the government as a threat to my personal freedom. I realize you may feel differently, but my relationship with the people who call themselves the government is completely involuntary. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is a special alert for business owners, consultants, coaches, folks planning retirement, entrepreneurs, and anyone who is saving and investing to build a financial future. You are likely aware that financial privacy for most people has recently died a miserable death. And let's face it, without privacy, there really is no security, is there? Bankrupt governments and banks on the verge of collapse are perhaps the biggest threat to your financial future today. The Lighthouse Law Club recognizes this and has been working diligently to provide safe, secure, and productive tools to ensure your privacy, your financial security, and your future financial well-being, despite the catastrophes which many people fear are looming ahead of us. Find out more with a variety of free videos on the YouTube channel for Lighthouse Law Club. Just search YouTube for Lighthouse Law Club and secure your future today.
Live video of our Keene, New Hampshire-based shows is streamed on DLive. Please follow and share at dlive.lrn.fm. That's dlive.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You dial toll free. We're talking about the world of the state of technology. Actually, caller calling in about YouTube and their ever-changing set of rules and algorithms makes it even more difficult for independent channels to even be found. Now they're promoting things like CNN and other mainstream so-called journalism. With you tonight, by the way, you've got Ian here.
And Johnson.
And Conan.
Johnson, by the way, folks can go over to your website, libertyminded.com, and they can order official Free Talk Live merchandise.
And LRN.FM merchandise.
This is true. Also, really cool liberty-friendly T-shirts.
I should say LRN.FM merchandise. One item.
Would that be a merchandise?
Merchandise, I guess. I don't know.
It's not merch?
Merch. Well, the T-shirt.
Yeah.
But yeah, also
the only T-shirt to have ever existed.
Also, probably the most anti-cop T-shirt in existence.
There's some good stuff there. You definitely want to check it out. It is getting to be holiday season here, so you're going to start thinking about gift giving.
Oh, yeah, that's when it really kicks in.
If you know a liberty-minded person, you're going to love libertyminded.com. So get over there and find something you think they would like, because they probably will. Also, discounts on hoodies, right?
Yes, that's right.
That's happening now.
There's a sale going on for hoodies, and yeah. That's where it's at right now.
LibertyMinded.com. Check more out there. As we go back to the phones here, Robbie in Albuquerque, you were calling about the state of YouTube. There's a lot of things that YouTubers would say about this. Many people are disappointed. They've been demonetized, for instance, or partially demonetized, and it's made a lot of people who were making a living at YouTube stop making a living at YouTube. Was that what you were referencing, or did you have something else in mind? Robbie? Maybe we lost him. Robbie going once, Robbie going twice. Let's try the other Robbie. This is a different Robbie, also in New Mexico. This one watching on dlive.lrn.fm. Go ahead, Robbie.
Hey, this is the real Robbie.
All right.
The real Robbie. Will the real Robbie still please stand up?
And tap my phone lines, I swear. Well, he's talking about YouTube.
Yeah.
And, I think this whole YouTube thing's a bunch of malarkey, I think.
Really?
It's not going to last,
What is going to happen? I mean, YouTube's got an incredible amount of steam. They built it up over time. It's the number one video platform, probably by far, on the planet. I mean, what is going to replace it? It's not going to be Twitch. That's just live streams.
Well, YouTube is the number 2 website in the whole internet.
Yeah.
And I don't think anything can replace it, which is only going to make the whole problem worse, and no one being a competitor. YouTube's going to do whatever they want. They're going to censor us. They're going to keep us. They're going to hide us. There's going to be no new people, and that's going to be our shame.
I see your frustration, Robbie. Thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate it. The toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE.
Robbie is, possibly, a visionary about YouTube. I mean, well, when you think about it, right, even though YouTube has about $4 billion in annual revenue, right? And you say that's the largest website. How much do you think it actually made this year?
Did they lose money?
Oh, they've lost $750 million a year.
Really?
Oh, yeah. YouTube is a huge money sink.
What?
Yeah.
Were they ever profitable?
Nope. YouTube has never been profitable, not once.
So it's been subsidized?
Yeah, by Google. It's been being subsidized since its inception.
I had no idea.
Well, hold on now, because isn't Uber in the same boat?
Yes,
in the same
Uber
boat?
is also a money loser.
Let me make sure that let me make sure that
I can't believe that, if that's true.
I believe YouTube has never been profitable.
All right, you check into that. Let's go back to Olivia in Arizona, also watching on YouTube. Go ahead, Olivia.
Hey, Ian. Hey, Johnson.
Hey there.
Conan.
Hey.
I'm excited to meet Conan because I've seen him before on YouTube, but I've never gotten to talk to him. But he used to have long hair, I think.
He did, yeah.
Yeah, now I'm sporting my alt-right cut. But I'm not
but you're
alt-right.
not alt-right, yeah.
Do you miss the long hair?
I can't pull it off any longer. I'm getting too old for that. I'm not cool enough to.
There's always a lot of work you got to do on
to
it,
sport
too.
the Jesus locks, the Legends of the Fall locks. I can't do it. It is a lot easier.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to mention a couple of things. First of all, I think it's a darn shame that Fortnite's getting sued. It seems like anytime someone makes something that really appeals to people and really just anything that makes an impact in the world, pretty soon you're going to have a bunch of people just trying to get money
that
they don't deserve.
And by the way, that's how you know you won.
Yeah.
When people come after you.
People come after you. Yeah.
It's a darn shame. And then the cops playing like they're in a video game, but they're not. They're in real life. That's so sickening. But what happened to Cop Block, by the way? Like,
I'll try to keep the answer short. What happened to Cop Block was over time it was a decentralized organization. They attracted a certain number of people who didn't really gel with the original Cop Blockers. Let's say like a Pete and a Damo, the founders of Cop Block. Some of the people that came on later didn't really get along real well with one another, so there became, as is so common in organizations that grow to a certain size, internal strife within the organization, internal fighting within the organization, and so at some point Adamo stepped away as founder of the group. And I'm really shortening this.
And a little burnout, too?
Yeah, and then, of course, burnout as well. And eventually, Adamo decided he was just going to throw in the towel and retire as an activist. And, he did a lot of work. He got arrested a lot of times doing a lot of police accountability activism. Cop Block touched a lot of lives in a positive way, helped a lot of people learn about how to handle themselves with police interactions and how to, know your rights and use your rights. So, I think its impact over time was really positive overall. But the organization basically fell apart when Adamo stepped away from it. He had ended up putting the website up for sale. He couldn't find a buyer from within, and so he just auctioned it off. And the guy who ended up winning the auction at first didn't want to be known. I ended up finally finding out who it was. And I talked to the guy because I was trying to keep the flame alive to some extent. But there's very little I can do. I've got so much on my plate. I wasn't going to take on full responsibilities of editorial content or anything like that. And so this other guy admitted that he didn't even know what Cop Block was when he bought the website URL. He just thought it sounded cool.
He wasn't a Fed, was he?
Well, I have no idea.
Oh, wow.
Basically, the site's still there, and it's essentially a shell of its former self. So essentially, the organization is dead. There are a couple of folks, or a few groups out there that still have some life. When I was out in Vegas for Anarcho Vegas, I did meet the Vegas Cop Block guys, and they are still putting out content. They're still going out, I think, doing things in the streets. Here in Keene, I do outreach every year out by the college, Know Your Rights kind of outreach, because people need to be able to exercise their own rights. They can't just expect cop blockers to be around to do it for them. But anyway, there's the short answer.
Oh, wow. Well, I hope Adamo's doing good. I once upon a time, I had a Facebook, and basically all I did on there was repost cop block stuff. I made a bunch of my friends mad, but oh well. But I really called to talk about a really neat article I saw about, it's on the BBC, and the title is The Gamer Who Spent 7 Years in His Dressing Gown. Basically, this guy just became a total recluse.
Really?
In his house. And
is dressing gown like pajamas in the UK?
Like pajamas,
is that what that means?
I think so.
Okay.
And they have a really cool program called Real Ideas Organization, where they basically have a program where if you're not employed or you're not in education, you can join this organization, and they will help you build games to learn social skills. So basically, you build a game that encourages you to get out and participate in society and basically level up by interacting with people. So
that's
he's
good. I like that.
Really?
Yeah, he's built a game to help other people who are like him, and he's getting out there, and I guess he's building kind of his own business doing that. And I just thought that
does
really
sound really interesting. I'm curious to know how that works. Is it kind of like the Pokemon game where you have to go out into physical reality to actually play it, where it encourages people to get up and get out somehow?
What was the title of this game again?
Right.
I don't know. Olivia, you said it was an article. Do you know the name of the game?
I don't see the name. It's a role-playing board game for small groups. So players meet once a week over a period of weeks or months, and they...
Can you pop that into our Discord chat when you get a chance? I don't know if you're in there.
Yeah,
there's somebody who has your name, but I don't know if that's actually you. Is that you?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay, good.
Olivia from Arizona.
Okay, cool. Didn't know if it was an imposter. Just shoot that over into our Discord. There's more coming up here. Thank you, Olivia, on Free Talk Live.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact, and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow. A A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Jake was in big trouble with the IRS. He owed how much?
$92,000.
Ouch. The IRS left no room for Jake to breathe.
They put a lien on my house, took all the money out of my bank account, took money out of my paychecks. So it was a nightmare.
He needed help fast.
I figured that all these companies were the same until I called Federal Tax Management. You could just tell they knew what they were talking about. Right then and there, I felt like I had some hope.
Stop the liens, levies, and garnishments fast and qualify for one of several special IRS programs that could reduce or even eliminate your tax debt. So, how'd it go for Jake?
They did what they said they would do. They came through for me. I ended up saving an unbelievable amount. I was so jazzed. I was extremely happy.
If you owe more than $10,000 in back taxes, take Jake's advice.
Give Federal Tax Management a phone call. If they help me, they can help anybody.
Call the Federal Tax Management Hotline now. 800-503-8625. 800-503-8625. 800-503-8625.
Hi, this is George Norrie. I'll be in the Chicago area October 25th and 26th for the Health Freedom Expo. It's going to be an incredible weekend of lectures, workshops, and exhibits with leading experts and the newest products in natural and alternative medicine. Join speakers Jeffrey Smith, Lisa Oz, Patch Adams, Ocean Robbins, and Doc Wallach, and get your tickets today at TrinityHealthFreedomExpo.com. You have a right to a naturally vibrant and healthy life. That's TrinityHealthFreedomExpo.com or call 1-888-658-3976.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live, and you can bring up whatever you want here. 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. Free Talk Live brought to you by the Edge Wallet, the best cryptocurrency wallet out there, in my opinion. And that was my opinion long before they became a sponsor here on Free Talk Live. But I'm super excited that they are sponsoring Free Talk Live because, well, it's my favorite wallet. So edge.app is where you can go to learn more about it. Ethereum tokens, Monero, Ripple, Stellar, Bitcoin Cash, the original Bitcoin, Dash, and more. Ravencoin recently added to Edge Wallet. iOS and Android versions are available. You can buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your favorite cryptocurrencies. It's user-controlled. You own your own money. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet. Go to edge.app
to learn more about it as we continue. So, Conan, you wanted to talk about 2012, and I know you said you didn't think you'd have enough time.
10 minutes, man.
You don't think that's enough? This is too deep.
I mean, we could touch on it.
All right.
I mean, so here, this is how it works. I'm looking at a lot of the arguments that are being forced upon me. I think one of the bigger ones is the whole we are going to in 12 years it's up. It's all up for grabs. I mean, we're not going to be able to. The climate has got to a certain point that we're all going to die.
Well, of course we're all going to die.
And the people who are telling me this are smart people. Educated people. They're people who really know what's going on, and I'm like, well, crap. What's really going on here? What is wrong with these people? Except maybe, we were talking about NPCs earlier on, non-player characters who are not really able to think for themselves. They are programmed to think a certain way. They know they have a certain set of parameters that they are allowed to discuss, to communicate, to think, and maybe this really is a simulation.
Wait, are you saying that it wasn't a simulation until 2012, but then became a simulation?
Well, that's one of the theories. So anyways, the Mayans might have had
Johnson, the look on your face.
Mayans might have had it right. So their calendar ended December 21st, 2012.
When did Sam leave New Hampshire?
Sam Dodson. 2011, I think.
Right on time.
Do you think he knew something?
Maybe the alien wars weren't revealed, and instead they just flipped on the simulation.
Well, here's the thing. I'm thinking about this.
But how does that explain Sam becoming an Excel or a Ripple fanatic?
It's a simulation. It's not actually Sam. He was taken away with the aliens. The alien war was revealed to him, and the rest of us were just plugged into the simulation.
So he escaped on the alien rapture.
I want royalties, Sam, for this idea. By the way,
he'll pay you in Ripple.
I would accept that.
The current culture is so bizarre right now, and I know that every generation is always complaining about how they have it rougher than the current the past generations. It's always harder for us than it was for anyone else. And yet I look at the current culture and we're talking about the Joker just, a couple of breaks ago, and about how there are two splits on whether the Joker is even worth watching. You have people who will walk out of the theater because it is that bad, and you have people who are talking about how it is the movie of the year.
Have you ever walked out of a theater?
Never.
I've never seen a movie so atrocious to where I was like, I can't stand
I've seen atrocious movies, but I think that if I paid money to see it, unless there was something right across the hall
that was a lot better.
That was a lot better, and I knew it would be better, and I just kind of snuck over there.
There's a movie that I wish that I had never watched, actually.
What was that?
The Trigger Effect.
Never even
vaguely recall the title, but
it's from 1996.
Sounds like a straight to DVD.
Like the power going out in LA and these people losing their minds, and it's really
bad.
So what I'm seeing in the current culture is such a divide, such a clown world that it's like, well, crap, maybe in 2012 something did change, something did end. When we're talking about a lot about games this evening. Most games I play, when you defeat the final boss.
Obama's first term.
You can keep playing. There's still side quests to play. You can keep going around doing things, but I mean the whole
a newer thing.
The whole purpose of the game is really ended. You're just kind of passing the time.
Around. Yeah.
So I mean, what if 2012 December 21st it did end, and someone just decided, yeah, you know what, I want another 50 years. Click, and we're still going, and it's just but it's gotten to a point where the game is basically just playing the credits somewhere off in the distance. The credits are rolling, and we're just plugging along, doing our thing. And the crazies are out there, the NPCs who only have one option. They are not able to adapt. They're still spewing the same crap, the same
but how
nonsense.
Does that explain Donald Trump?
He might be the only real person. He's just living his fantasy, just seeing how far he can get it, or he might be a complete,
the realest person to ever exist.
The realest, the biggest,
most real intellect. The most humble.
So what did happen in 2012? Well, The Higgs boson particle was found.
Really? Okay.
So the hadron, what is the collector?
Hadron.
The hadron accelerator. What is it called?
Collider.
Hadron
Collider.
Yeah.
So they think they actually got it to work. Supposedly, they found this particle that's holding us all together or something. That happened. I think Disney actually bought, not Disney, but Disney bought Star Wars in 2012, and then you see where it's gone.
Into the Hadron Collider.
It's just, I don't know. I like to understand why things work, and that's basically why I like this 80-year cycle, where every 80 years it resets. This could just be the reset. It's just gotten so stupid. The clown world has gotten so prevalent that it needs to reset. And you
think something's coming? You think a big reset's coming?
Or it might not be coming because the game is already over. It's over.
What does that even mean, though?
The game is over. The credits are rolling. We are just...
We're about to enter the roaring 20s.
We are just the remnants.
The roaring
20s.
20s, right?
Uh-huh.
That was what the 1920s were called.
No,
what
no,
were the 2020s?
No, we are entering into the, if it's an 80-year cycle, this is our World War II.
Okay.
So, and Great Depression.
But the world is more peaceful than it's ever been.
Correct. And it's also more stupid than it's ever been. Look at these. Look at this iGen. They are completely disillusioned.
You like money
They don't
too?
know what's up. It's all pink hair and snowflakes.
Johnson's referencing the Mike Judge film, Idiocracy, which did seem to be pretty prescient, right? Like there's a lot of truth, I think, to Idiocracy. For listeners unfamiliar,
people who know how to push buttons, button pushers.
Yeah.
As long as
That's
long as the symbol on their button on their keyboard makes sense to them. If it doesn't, they can't figure it. They can't figure anything out.
Are people really dumber today? I know it's tempting to say that.
I will say they are not as wise. They are not as capable of adapting. They're not as capable of picking up new skills and working with what they have. I'm going to say that, yes.
I got to say, I feel like the state of journalism is definitely way worse than it was in the past.
I will say that the state of journalism that people most get their news from is completely worthless, and unless you go to other outlets. We're talking about YouTube. There's still some good YouTube creators out there who do a pretty good job, and then you got options like BitChute, which is where I can't get my conspiracy videos on YouTube anymore.
Huh.
I got to go to BitChute.
Which is like a BitTorrent version of video storage, basically.
And that's basically where everyone's gone who's been demonetized and or kicked off of YouTube. So there's your other option right there.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing is that there are some conservative videos that are amusing. I mean, even if I don't necessarily agree with some of these things, there were a lot of people who were on BitChute that have been snapped up, that are the ones that are good and are being put behind paywalls. And that's...
On BitChute or
worse.
some other
No, not
paywall?
on BitChute. Well, I don't know if they're being hosted on BitChute, but they get put behind paywalls, and it's like, well, then no one ever sees that content.
Right.
And it's like, that's really sad because it was available for free, first starting on YouTube, then, dropped into BitChute, and then, now just down the memory hole.
And by the way, something else, another phenomenon that has come up in recent years, Mandela effect. You got lots.
The Berenstain Bears.
And I didn't even get to talk about my absolute favorite Mandela effect that I think just proves it all.
All right.
We're not going to have time this evening, but I mean,
you tease.
In the meantime,
it's a long one.
I have to encourage everyone for 2020 to write in Dwayne Elizondo Herbert Mountain Dew Camacho. For president.
Idiocracy president.
That would be great. That's a great movie.
Elizondo, Mountain Dew, Herbert, Camacho.
Go check that movie out.
Two good movies to watch: Idiocracy and Office Space.
Yeah.
So real.
Oh, and I think his series on HBO, Silicon Valley, is entering its final season, I believe. That's what I read. Yeah. Don't miss that, too. Mike Judge, great creator. All right, so out of time for tonight. You can join us online between now and tomorrow night over at our website, freetalklive.com. Don't forget to follow us on social medias, twitter.freetalklive.com, toot.freetalklive.com.
Anarchapulco is the world's foremost conference for voluntarist thinkers and activists, held in beautiful Acapulco, Mexico. Share ideas on how to live free and escape the clutches of the state. Their unparalleled lineup of speakers will discuss entrepreneurship, investments, politics, philosophy, health, sustainability, lifestyles, and personal relationships. Stay in a world-class resort and enjoy the sun and beaches. February the 13th through the 16th, visit anarchapulco.com for early bird pricing and 10% off with coupon code FTL.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite.
Dynavite for life.
Pick up 2 tubes of Doggo Suds.
Get the 3rd tube free.
Peppermint, tea tree, lavender, Doggo Sud shampoo.
Made with all-natural coconut, jojoba, aloe. Great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
But no itchy, harsh chemicals.
Lather up, rinse away.
Try Doggo Suds. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynavite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
The latest episode of Declare Your Independence with Ernest Hancock is next after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,481, silver at $17.41, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,160. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high-availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, Kurdish forces in northern Syria announced on Sunday that the Syrian government has agreed to deploy troops to battle an ongoing Turkish offensive against the Kurds, after U.S. Defense Secretary Mark Esper confirmed that President Donald Trump has ordered the withdrawal of the remaining 1,000 American troops in the region. Following a call with the Turkish leader last weekend, Trump withdrew about 50 U.S. troops from the Turkey-Syria border. Critics accuse Trump of betraying Kurdish-led Syrian Democratic Forces, who allied with the United States in the fight against the Islamic State. Turkey on Wednesday launched airstrikes and ground incursions targeting Kurdish-held areas. Tens of thousands of civilians have fled northern Syria amid Turkey's incursion. According to The Guardian, about 130,000 people have been displaced in Syria in the operation so far, with at least 60 civilian casualties in Syria and 18 dead in Turkey. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. Instead of reaching for his pepper spray, his taser, or a baton, a DeKalb County, Georgia police officer drew his gun and killed an unarmed and naked veteran suffering from bipolar and post-traumatic stress disorders. Charged with felony murder and several other charges in 2016, the officer claimed the unarmed veteran was aggressively charging towards him, even though witnesses disputed his official version of events. After a years-long battle, the case has finally come to a close, and the officer who killed Anthony Hill was found guilty on several charges, but found not guilty on the 2 counts of felony murder. After deliberating for 6 days, the jury found the former officer, Robert Olson, not guilty of felony murder. However, they did find him guilty of aggravated assault, 2 counts of violation of oath, and making a false statement. He now faces the possibility of 35 years behind bars. After the verdict was read aloud, Activist Post reports Olson's wife left the courtroom in tears. A former NASA scientist has written that he is convinced that the U.S. Space Agency found evidence of life on Mars in the 1970s, but the data was largely ignored. The stunning admission by Gilbert Levin, the former principal investigator for the labeled release experiment on NASA's Viking mission to Mars, came in an op-ed recently published in Scientific American. In the article, the engineer and inventor is clear that he believes he found convincing proof of the existence of living microorganisms on Mars in 1976. But the agency has since been unwilling to acknowledge what he sees as a clear fact. Levin is hardly a conspiracy theorist or a fringe ufologist. In addition to participating in the important 1976 NASA mission, he's a respected engineer and inventor who founded the successful research company Spherix. However, NASA believed that the only thing found was a substance that mimicked life, but wasn't truly alive. Levin accuses the space agency of then proceeding to ignore the findings. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Frustrated with his increased workload and a litany of interpersonal problems, CLG software project manager William Garston brought a list of grievances Thursday to his supervisor Todd Watkins, an utterly powerless office functionary with no actual ability to resolve any problems.
Oh, no. I'm really glad that you're bringing this to me. This is great.
The 15-minute interaction, which was taken seriously by both parties, involved Garston laying out a series of work-related issues he's had recently, absolutely none of which Watkins has even the slightest authority to address.
Again, I'm sorry to be bothering you with all this stuff, Todd. I've reached a point where I was not under the... This is important. We're gonna sort all this out.
Sources added that throughout the conversation, Watkins continually nodded his head and repeatedly assured Garston that his problems would be considered a top priority, despite the fact that he lacked the necessary clout to foster any change whatsoever within the company.
This is the Onion News Network.
And now, live from the studios of Freedom's Phoenix, Ernest Hancock.
Believe me when I say we have a difficult time ahead of us. But if we are to be prepared for it, we must first shed our fear of it. I stand here without fear because I remember that I am here not because of the path that lies before me, but because of the path that lies behind me. I remember that for 100 years we have fought these machines. And after a century of war, I remember that which matters most. We are still here! Today, let us make them remember. We are not afraid!
Interfered here on Declare Your Independence. Me, Ernest Hancock, here in Phoenix, Arizona. No, not the show. Bob and I went to the North Bridge. Shot heard round the world. Lexington Concord took the tour of. It was misty eye kind of stuff, man. This was especially the Ranger Babe. You remember Ranger Babe, Bob?
Ranger Babe.
Ranger Babe. Yeah, she talked to us to give you a little tour and everything. She was a Ranger Babe. I said, whatever you say.
I didn't know they could tailor Ranger uniforms
so tightly.
Yeah, no, she definitely, that could have been a big. It was just like a, bodysuit. She could be a spaceman. But she was interesting. She was friendly and so on. And it's kind of. This is the only question before the thing even started. She kind of encouraged us to go, well, come over, and, listen to my 25-minute spiel. And we go, yes, we will. But I asked her, I said, look, I just, all of this, you read in the visitor center, you go on about, the British Crown's coming to take, the powder and shot. They want to get the cannons. They want to get all your guns. They're coming. They're going door to door, warrantless searches, kicking in farmhouses. They're, laying waste, and we are the king, damn it. Because before, months before or something, they had done the Boston Tea Party, so they put 4,000 plus troops, quartered them in the homes in Boston. And then they were kind of going out in the hinterland, and we're going to, them rebels, you're not allowed. Well, of course, at the time, the British Empire is doing the same thing across their empire, and we rule you. And they had a bunch of taxes. They kept increasing everything because of wars with France and so on. So it was just the intolerable acts. Well, when they finally get to Lexington Concord, and there was, the guys, they're still kind of loyal subjects. We want to, you treat us right, and taxation without representation sucks, and all this other stuff. But this had been going on for a decade. You read any John Adams, he goes, the revolution started like 13 years ago. This is already way underway. It was just waiting for something to happen, and it happened. So anyway, my only question was, I'm going. We're from Arizona, and I'm just wondering, in Massachusetts, you got this history here, and you have this understanding of what it meant and why and how, and we were able to resist tyranny and all that. I go, what is with the gun law thing? What is the culture thing? I'm just wondering how do you explain that? And she came back with something. Do you remember what she said, Bob?
Yeah, she came back with the same argument that they made in the Heller decision on the opposite side, the dissenting opinion of the Heller. Well, as the militia was, sanctioned by the king to protect from the Indians, and they gave the guns and everybody needed them, but it really was the National Guard of today, and that kind of thing, and we didn't want to really rain down on her. So
yeah,
we let her say her spiel, but but the thing was, kind of think that argument was settled about 10 years ago in the Heller decision. That was bunk.
And it was Columbus Day. So, I was surprised they were even open. So we,